All right, this is our soft intro, starting a little bit early, as opposed to, actually starting late, but starting early.
Earlier than expected.
According to our posted start time, which is 8 p.m. We're having a couple, or I heard that we had some audio issues during the stream last week. I believe that is just, that was a stream issue, but starting early to see if we're having that problem again. So if you guys are hearing an echo on my voice at all, or anything really crazy when I speak up, let me know what it is. Let me know if you can hear it. We'll get that ironed out before we get started. For those of you joining for the first time, welcome. You can fast forward until you see our faces on the screen if you want to. This is just a soft opening.
Yeah, boy. What's up to the chat, though, man? Chat was ready to go today. Everybody up in there. Shorty, Hardcore, Rolling Doves, Raider Rich, Ryan Hawks, our guest for the night. We'll be talking to you soon. Good shit being on the chat, brother. Let's see who else. Let's see. Gent, I know, was the first one. Moki, the Doc, Dr. No.
Pete, thanks for the donation, man.
Pete, man.
I feel like your contribution vocally every week is enough of a donation, FYI, but I will accept this monetary gift on your behalf. Thank you.
Don Day. Don Day's in the chat. Dogtown Raider.
Raider Rich.
Let's see. The Ladies of Darkness are there, too. Yeah, man.
We got a potential sock puppet account in the mix. Let's see if you make it. You may or may not make it. What's up? Is that Moki?
Yeah, Moki.
That's right.
What's up? Dr. No. Shorty V. Heidi in the house. I'm glad Heidi joins us every week. Somebody from the fam has to support. Damn.
It's facts. Facts.
All right, so if everything's cool, I guess we can get this thing started.
I think we're good. No complaints, chat. You guys hear any echoes, anything like that? Let us know now so we can get it sorted out. If not, we're about to start this shit.
On a side note, that was pretty cool though, Kenny, when you was popping off, when you was firing off, and you had that Zeus boom or whatever.
I don't even know what it sounded like.
Straight out, bro. You sounded like some sort of like Greek god, like about to like start throwing like WAP thunderstorms down or something.
I sounded all crazy. My voice was fucked.
Just kidding. I didn't actually say that. I got to keep it clean for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
On the YouTube.
Keep it clean. I keep it clean though.
Keeps it clean though.
I keeps it clean though. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2.
Raider Rich.
Yo.
Good looking out, homie.
All right, Raider Rich, man. Thank you. I guess that means let's get started.
Yeah, boy. Here we go.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
All right. You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network, companion podcast to PJ4F.com, the #1 podcast in Raider Nation. Calling every week to leave a message on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. Joined this week, special guest, Bobby Wasabi, but Che was cracking.
Oh, man. You already know. It's Chela's time. And we already cracked this Chela, so we got to get that, that good sound effect. I'm going to top my glass off here. Oh, yeah. Bobby's sipping on some, too. Had to share this one. So this here, we got this North Coast Brewing Brother Thelonious.
Represent.
Okay, yeah, this is a Belgian style Abbey Ale.
It's very classy.
Yes, it is very, very, very classy. And I'll back it up a little bit. I don't know, the lights are shining too bright up in here. This is a 9.4 ABV, by the way. The flavors on this, though, me and Bobby, we're not gonna lie, we've been sipping on this one for a little bit already.
Yeah, straight up.
The flavors on this, it's rich, man, very rich, right? Like it's got a nice sweet caramel flavor to it. Smooth, but you could taste that. You could taste how the strength of the alcohol. It's there.
Damn, that's smooth.
But it's smooth. Like, and this beer is actually inspired, or should I say, it's made in as a purpose to kind of donate money to the Monterey Jazz Festival.
Oh, serious?
And the arts. So so jazz education programs and the Monterey Jazz Festival. That's why they made this Brother Thelonious. And if you guys are familiar with jazz, Thelonious Monk was
Of course.
a great jazz artist. So
That makes sense because I got my jazz fingers going
that's
on
him
right
on
now.
that's him right on the bottom too. So my boy, the first time I ever heard the name Thelonious Monk, I was at SDSU because I wasn't big into jazz. I was just kind of starting to dabble. My boy did a painting. He's this homie, this dude with like he had his cigarette, like, puffing on a cigarette, had his big hat. He's like, and he did like a profile picture of him. And I was like, man. And so he presented it to the class, and he didn't tell anybody anything about it. Just kind of was like, yo, what do you guys see? You guys tell me what you guys see. That was his critique. And then everybody kind of told him what they thought they saw in the picture, and then he explained it. He explained that it was Thelonious Monk.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's dope. Shout out Kareem. That's my boy.
Enjoy your brew. Got a lot more beer lined up for the rest of the episode and the rest of the night in general. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Pillaging Pod, at Kenny Stapler, at Che_PJ4F, at Kane MT6, at Bobby Wasabi 4080, and at CN Podnet. Tonight's guest, Ryan Hawks from the Raider Ramble. You guys know about Ryan Hawks?
Yeah, man. He's got he's got a little bit of he's got his own website. I was checking it out. I was reading a little bit about when he became a Raiders fan. He picked up a little sweater here.
Well, you ask him that. You can talk about that when he comes on.
We can talk about that.
Che's trying to do Ryan's interview for him.
I'm not doing it right now. Just saying.
Che, tell me about the time that Ryan became a Raider fan.
Yeah, you asked, bro. You asked the question, dog.
So tell me, Che, how long has Ryan been writing for the Raider Ramble, and where can we find him?
That's not information that I'm privy to, bro. I'm just saying.
Shout out to Sean136 on Twitter. He's sending over some medicated salsas that a friend of his makes. We're going to be sampling that stuff here in a week or two, whenever that gets in. You guys ready for some medicated salsa?
Yeah. Why not?
It's going to be a very interesting show. That's for damn sure.
Tune in for the flavor profile on the Pillaging, and tune in for the after effects on the Crow's Nest with that one. Speaking of which, we do have a Crow's Nest podcast tonight. We are recording tonight. We will not be live streaming, but you can find that show, the Crow's Nest podcast show. It's everything we don't talk about on here, and it gets pretty deep, Che. It gets deep and dark and a little wild sometimes.
The Crow's Nest?
Yeah.
I don't know that it gets dark. I guess we've talked some. There's been some fucking crazy shit out there, man.
Dark.
But I mean, for the most part, it's just
Yeah.
good times. Come
It
on,
is.
man, it's good times.
We talk about real estate in Virginia and a whole bunch of other things tonight on the Crow's Nest. We talk about the Houston Astros debacle. We're talking about vagina-scented candles. Just a whole gamut of things that you're going to tune in for.
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Bed Bath & Beyond. I used to work in the Beyond department. You can find that podcast wherever major podcasts are found. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, anywhere, Stitcher, SoundCloud. I think maybe SoundCloud. Anyways, you can find that anywhere major podcasts are found. You don't want to hear that. Paulie's going to be coming in hot tonight. You already know. OneNationFanwear.com. Make sure you check them out for all your Raider fan gear and DC4L Custom tees. We're looking to give away an Oakland Raider t-shirt from DC4L Custom Tees. Anyone that wants to come in here and run this 2-minute drill, maybe it's Ryan Hawks. Maybe we just spring that on him.
Oh
See
shit!
if he wants to win a t-shirt.
It's gonna do that. Do
Right.
it like that.
Yeah, Ryan's in the chat right now.
That was the old school thing before, right? Remember? You always spring that on the guest.
That's true.
Speaking of spraining things, Che, you're hobbling around the studio tonight. What's going on, man?
Spraining things, not necessarily spraining things. tearing shit. Maybe, yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Tearing shit up.
tearing shit up. That's what I thought I was doing on the court, and then I just tore my knee up. So, yeah, man, your boy's a little hobbled, but it didn't stop him from stopping for some chelas.
He's here.
Yeah, Kenny had
I was
to.
all up in Bama with the fucking crutches. So.
Yeah, Kenny had to install one of those elevated seats right here to the chairs, going all the way to the crow's nest.
Was it wrap around and go around the stairs?
Like Gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
Were you driving the little scooter around Bevmo? Get out the
little
way, young
rascal?
buck. Watch out, young buck.
No, so this is what I had to do. I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to hold beers in my hands with these crutches.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to walk up in here with a bag on my back.
Jay said, "Hold my beer."
So I walked in there and I was like, let me just make sure dude knows what my intentions are. Because I'm not trying to get tackled with these crutches, right? So I was like, yo, what's up, dog? Listen, I'm gonna grab some beers, but as you can see, I'm a little hobbled. So is it cool if I throw the beers in my bag just to carry them up to the cash register? He's all, oh yeah, no, sure, that's cool. I was like, good.
Like that's
All
your
right, we're
con.
good.
That's your con, the handicap con. No one's gonna tackle the guy in crutches.
It's
I'm
the
gonna
long,
walk, I'm gonna walk
Full
in and
speed.
out.
it's the long
Full
con.
speed out the door.
But he's been doing that for a while. So he chooses a Bevmo and he goes there forever. And then just one day he just shows up with those crutches, man.
Oh man,
The slow con.
sick. I catch him off guard, dog.
It's that long con.
I just like.
That's why it's that low impact con. Dog.
Oh man.
It's that Lorno con.
Nah, yeah. So defense, bro. This is what happens to guys that play defense, man. Okay,
It's true.
play defense too hard, your knees go out. Just saying, your knees go out. My shit just gave out. Man. Chased down a loose ball, and I was just like, went this way, and I tried to go that way too, and my knee went that way. I was like, this is over. It's done. It's done, son.
Damn.
Your knee was already on the bench. Your knee was like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
I was like, oh, that's where it went.
See, I'm surprised Shaq didn't jump out of nowhere and try to offer you some icy hot or something.
That fucking patch just came out with that patch. He's all,
Whenever my knee hurts, what's up with this icy pot?
So, Che's rocking the copper tights tonight.
copper tights.
Looks good on you, man. Looks good on you. Tonight's show, we got a big show actually for you tonight. People say, oh, it's the off season. It's enough Raiders talk for the year. No, it's not. We got a lot for you. We got some quick hits, Raiders news from the week. Of course, Raiders fire Brentson Buckner. We got to talk about that. Mike Mayock addresses the media and more. We got some NFL playoff discussion, Super Bowl predictions, and what have you, whether you want to hear that or not. Yes, we probably talk about the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that during Kane's Corner. And the Raider, this got an announcement, major announcement. The Raider GOAT bracket announcement is upon us. That's right. Yeah. It's the first ever silver and black brackets installment we're going to be doing all offseason. So what we need from you are your submissions of Raider players that deserve to be in the tournament of the greatest Raider of all time. You can submit as many names as you want to. We'll take some of the most popular names. We're going to try to load this bracket up. We're going to try to make it a big bracket so Che and I can break this down weekly through the offseason with Bobby, Wasabi writing in here too, Shotgun. But we're going to let you guys decide. We're going to put these up as polls every week on Twitter or Google Forms. We'll try to put it on Google Forms so we can get this out to more of you that are maybe not on Twitter. And let you guys vote and vote these guys through the tournament. We'll give you guys our thoughts every week, of course, but you guys are going to make the make or break decision. Now, if it's a close call, I think the Pillaging Podcast should have power to break any close calls.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's executive powers, man.
We will reverse any shenanigans. So
Shenanigisms.
You say, come on, man. I'm just going to hit you with the come on, man.
just in case you and your boys think you can get Derek Carr into the final round, we will be here to veto any shenanigans.
Shit's not happening, son. It's
I
not
was
happening.
going to say, should we set a rule? They have to be retired players. They have to be former NFL players, or can it be current Raider players?
No, man, because I mean,
All Raiders.
If we're saying current players, the majority of our current players haven't been playing for this team for very long.
So what you're saying is it's not a problem to worry about.
No, we shouldn't have to
I
worry
agree with
about
you.
it. We shouldn't have to worry about it.
Game on, dude. Thanks for the $5, bro.
Hell yeah.
Thank you very much. He says, I'd rather watch a porno starring my grandparents than the Queefs Niners Super Bowl.
Agreed.
Me too.
Agreed.
Me too. I'd rather watch your reaction video
to that video.
to that video.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll say that.
Absolutely.
I could co-sign that one.
And of course, last but not least, obviously your calls, which I can tell are going to be very spicy. So we'll get to those at the end of the show. But without further ado, it's time for this quick hit segment. Shay, are you ready?
I'm ready, though.
Let's go. With all due respect, Tim Kawakami, go fuck yourself.
With all due respect.
And with all due respect,
Go fuck yourself. Mike Mayock speaks out. So Tim Kawakami kind of calling out, taking Mike Mayock to task last week.
Yeah.
About Mayock not speaking and possibly in hiding. Tafer apologizing this week for a potential rumor that he got started. I don't think that was his intention.
Right.
I think he was just speaking off the cuff. I'm not trying to throw Tafer into the bus right now.
But you said that too, man. When that came out and people started talking, you said that on there. You said, "Yo, I don't think that was his intention, was to start this rumor that Mike Mayock's on his way out."
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just making conversation. But that conversation had started weeks prior to when it actually started to like leak out. People started talking about it, right? So it is what it is, dog.
So
as we can see, that's not the case.
Did you guys get a chance to watch the interview or read the transcripts?
I didn't. I've heard some. I heard some clips of it, but
Okay.
I didn't get to.
I read some
hear
of the
I
transcript.
didn't get to hear the full interview.
All right. Well, it's a good thing your boy did your homework, did his homework. I read the whole thing, but you guys probably got the gist of it. There wasn't a whole lot there, but the kernels that came out of it were clipped up, and
Yeah.
those are the ones that made the rounds.
Yep.
And there's plenty that we're going to talk about tonight that I don't know shit about, so
All right,
it's all going to even out.
sounds good.
Was that a little bit too spicy? That didn't come out the way I wanted it to.
I don't know, man. Let's just keep it moving. Let's
love
keep
you
it moving,
guys.
bro.
Anyways,
You can't say. There's not a whole lot that you can say to us, dog, to throw us off.
and
Okay.
with all due respect,
My hand ain't shaking, so
Look
it's
at
all
that.
good. Solid.
If mine shakes, it's just because I need more water. Just saying.
yeah. Or Vicodin. Or less. First off, Eddie Pascal, he did, or Pascal, I guess is his name. He did a great job in this interview. They got right down to business discussing Mike's off-season schedule. So, as you guys know, this would be the first year Mike Mayock, first full off-season as the Raiders GM.
Yeah.
Coming in real hot this year.
Hell yeah.
Off a successful 2019 draft and what looked to be a successful free agency campaign. Didn't pan out like that, but it looked good.
It did. It did look
It
good.
looked good.
It did look good.
Trent Brown panned out. LaMarcus Joyner, not so much. We're not going to rehash the AB stuff, but they talked about it. Mike's been in Tampa all week for the East-West game. He's down there, and he shared his thoughts about these All-Star games versus the Combine. He says he loves All-Star games. Actually getting to watch these kids pad up, especially the smaller school kids who get the knock of not playing against competition, going up against some competition in these games. It could be from a small conference going up against an SEC lineman. And get some, real good analytics on guys like that. And then last year, as you guys know, the Raiders were a part of the Senior Bowl. They were the coaching staff on one side of the Senior Bowl, and ended up with 7 of the kids in that game. Jonathan Abram didn't even play in that game, and Mike talked about how he was on the other team, I believe, attached himself to John's hip regardless, and they just couldn't get rid of this kid. And it just stayed in their minds the whole time through the draft. So, being with those kids all week, having them wake up, being in memorial meetings, being in the chow room and all that stuff, spending all that time getting a real good feel for them. So you get guys like Jonathan Abram, Isaiah Johnson, Foster Moreau, Hunter Renfro, Alec Ingold, Keelan Doss, and Tavon Coney, who's practice squad. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hey, man, they're doing the due diligence, right? They're doing their due diligence to make sure that they know these players as they're picking them up. Because as we saw, where they did their best work was in the later rounds of the draft, right? That's what really completed our draft.
Yeah.
It's the front of the pack, right? The 3 first-round picks, it was kind of like home runs. And the only one that we really have a question on at this moment is Abram, because he got injured so early. But we see the attitude that the guy brings. We see the personality. We see the way he wants to play the game. So I think we're good. I think we're going to be good when he comes back. But those later rounds, man, And I gotta say something, because Mojo was in the chat when we kept talking about it. We were saying that Max was the 5th round. He's a fourth round, right?
yeah,
But we
yeah.
kept saying 5th round. So our bad for saying that. First of all, I want to apologize. It's off the cuff. We're just talking out loud, right?
Yeah.
But 4th round, I mean, you got Max getting drafted in the 4th round, and then you got a guy like Hunter Renfrow. He was the 5th rounder, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they knew these guys. They knew what they were getting, and they did their homework, and that's the reason why Mayock is here. And now that we know that Mayock isn't about to leave, I expect him to be even better this year, man. So I'm excited.
It's a perfect segue, actually, because they asked Mike going into now this first full offseason after having a whole year under his belt, what's different? He said the draft is pretty much as it has been. He's had a lot of experience working with teams during draft time throughout his years as an analyst on NFL Network. But what he never really got a close look at was the free agency process. Yeah. So he did say that last year that was very much new for him, and trying to feel that out both before the season and then during the season, as having to fill spots constantly on this roster last year. So he's looking forward to having a second crack at that and knowing that process a little bit better, and then just understanding the need at depth for this team. That's what he pointed out he needs to address. You saw us lose 5 of our last 6 games. That's a problem with depth. And, of course, the constant rotation at wide receiver. So definitely going to be looking to, add some depth to this team. We were talking last year how, before this last season started, how we thought we had more depth than we did, and it wasn't there. Right. I think we overrated our linebacking squad, and we won't rehash that conversation from last week. I think we did overrate that, and of course, I think we did mention very thin at wide receiver and in the secondary. I mean, at the corners, I should say, which ended up not being so true. But the wide receiver depth killed us. Yeah,
I think what we were confident in at least was that we had some defensive line that had been padded by the guys that we had drafted, right? Mm-hmm. And then the offensive line looked like it was
solid.
It was solid.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we saw. For the most part, that's what we saw. The linebacking crew, we thought that those young guys were going to, kick it up a notch, right? We expected some improvement. We expected them to take some steps forward. And it just didn't happen, whether it's because of injury or what, right? We saw Burfict coming in, and we saw him leave.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
And that affected that thought as well, right? Mm-hmm. You think you're going to have a guy that's going to keep his nose clean, right? And try to make sure that he stays on the field. And that just didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Well, my thing is that most likely these young bucks didn't step up because they didn't have Burfict there teaching them all that. Because remember, he was the guy with the green dot.
Absolutely.
So he's the one supposed to be teaching all these kids what's up and where to go and how to line up and how to start reading the play right before it actually develops, before it actually happens. I'm not opposed to him coming back.
No, me neither. And to be fair, that's right when things started to kind of unravel for us.
Absolutely.
But again, we talked about a lot of that last week. But one free agent that did keep his notes clean was Richie Incognito, which we also spoke on. So I think overall he did a good job in free agency last year. Had things panned out the way they had been planned, a lot of those guys actually did make a difference. And you hear me harp about it every offseason that rarely it's the free agent that pushes the team over the ledge or up into the next level. And I think Mike actually did bring in guys that could have potentially done that. Williams was doing well for us. As a compliment to AB, if he had stuck, that would have been a really nice tandem. I think we saw enough from Williams to go ahead and say that. Vontaze Burfict, again, was holding things together like Bobby pointed out up until the point he got suspended. And Trent Brown was doing his job on the right side there. And so the free agents in the squad really did make quite an impact. LaMarcus Joyner kind of probably being the biggest exception. And like we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, overall the biggest disappointment in those acquisitions. But I'm looking forward to it. If that was his first year and that was his trial run of free agency, hey, I'm looking forward to more this year.
Absolutely.
That was still a really good start.
Yeah.
All things considered. This is not NPR. He also talked about Max Crosby, finding a guy like that if he had, lived up to his expectations or exceeded them. And as no surprise, Mike thought he exceeded him. They never thought he'd come in here and be a starter. But the guy put on, he said 10 pounds of muscle through the season, which I didn't know. That fact actually missed me.
Well, you didn't see it necessarily. It's not like you saw like this gigantic change in his body type, right, throughout the season. But you could tell, at least from the way he was able to get people off of him, right? Get off of blocks, push some of these big ass offensive linemen, back towards the quarterback. I saw a lot of that from Crosby. Once they finally committed to making him the guy on that other end, you saw a lot of that. You saw a lot of him, even if he wasn't getting to the quarterback, getting a sack, he was causing pressure, and a lot of times he was just driving that offensive lineman, that tackle, right back into the quarterback. So you could see that he was definitely building some strength.
Yep.
And I expect him to build more. I expect him to put on, if he put on 10 pounds, he came into the league at what?
I don't know.
230, 240, something like that.
I don't know.
I think there was somewhere around there, like 245 or something like that, right? So if you see he put on 10 pounds, let's say he's 255, right around 260, 265 would probably be a good, spot to be at, right?
Yeah.
To deal with these big boys, these 300-pound offensive tackles, Yeah. And with his quickness, if he doesn't, as long as he's packing on these pounds without losing a step, right?
Or his bend.
Yeah, or his
He's
bend.
got that bend.
Yeah.
He's got that bend.
Yoga, Max.
Yo,
Do some yoga.
Bikram, bitch.
Do some yoga, dog.
Bikram, bitch.
well, if anything, I mean, if Colton Miller was able to put on 30 pounds from last year when he came in pretty small for an offensive lineman, and this year he actually looked like a real offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So you could only imagine what Mad Max is going to look like next year.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you see some of these guys, some of these other defensive linemen on other teams that, they're in their third, fourth year. You can see their bodies are starting to fill out. Their arms are a lot larger and shit. I expect that from Cleveland and from Max, because these guys, you can see that they have the work ethic.
With Cleveland's size and length already, he's going to be just a juggernaut at some point.
Imagine that dude putting on 10 more pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
He was already holding his own against some of these large offensive linemen. So, yeah, man, the sky's the limit, I think, with these two dudes.
Yeah. So great job, Mike Mayock. Also, when asked about Derek Carr, because they got to ask him that question. Whereas John was a lot more, I'd say, vague, maybe non-committal sounding in his press conference, which was not his year-end press conference, but the last press conference he's had. Mike was a lot more optimistic sounding. Mike talked about Derek Carr taking significant steps in rapid progression this season, really kind of, talking more about the stat sheet, the way he looked comfortable in John's office, his ability to run that offense and make calls at the line of scrimmage, and overall, comfortness doing so. He spoke about that. The constant turnover at the wide receiver position, having a lack of talent and weapons there, and that's really what he pointed to. So it's really a tale of two different stories when you're talking about, Mike Mayock and John Gruden right now. Who knows? Maybe John will give us a little bit more the next time he speaks out. But for right now, I guess maybe that's a controversy if you want to tease one out there. I'm sure the media will do a good job of feeding some headlines there. But let's move on.
Well, hey, listen, real quick. Let me just say this. You could look at it two ways, right? Because all throughout the season, John Gruden basically backed up Carr, right? Basically saying like, no, he's out there. I thought he played well today. That blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
He made it about just missing out on some opportunities. Took a lot of the blame himself.
Yes.
Right? He said, you know what? That's my job. I need to make sure that we're scoring points. We got to do something different. Switch it up a little bit. And as far as Mayock goes, as to the GM of this team, knowing what is available to him, right? He can't really tell you that this team is going to go somewhere else,
Right.
when there's no guarantee of that, right?
He's got to put value into all his players.
Right, exactly. So the last thing he wants to say is that, oh yeah, we're trying to move on from Derek Carr. What's he going to say that for?
Yeah.
Right? He's going to say, I thought he took some steps. He grew in second year in the offense. And all those are true. All of those are actually true. He did, right? We can't deny that, but we can say that it wasn't enough. We can, right? We do, and we do.
And we have.
But he's going to stick with this guy because he knows what his job as the GM is, and if there's nothing out there that he knows for sure is gonna come and replace Derek Carr, it's the last thing he's gonna do. Why? That's the last move he's gonna make.
He's like, well, I don't really want to talk about Carr's time here is short, and we're really looking for any and all possibilities to get him off this football team.
No.
Next question.
What Mike's gonna do is he's gonna pay compliment to his quarterback. He's gonna try try to encourage him to work and do better next season, right? But he's going to be looking to see what's actually out there. And he said that. He's like, with every position on this team, I'm always going to my job is to always look to improve the position. If it's not there, if I can't improve the position, then I'm not going to, right? And so right now, he doesn't have a whole lot to work with. There's not any guarantees. Why make a mention of a quarterback being on the outs with you if you don't have a guaranteed piece there?
It's true.
It's not going to happen.
It's true.
Yeah. Doesn't mean he's not working on it.
That is true.
Right.
Just say it.
So a lot there for Raider Nation to chew on. So Mike Mayock finally does speak out. I hope you like that, Tim Kawakami.
I all do respect you. I all do respect you.
Easy there, Rich Eisen. Do you hear that? That's the sound of Tim Kawakami blocking me right now on Twitter. I'm not blocked by him, but I don't interact with him either. All right, let's move it forward. Rod Marinelli gets released after the great purge in Dallas. Finds a new home with the Raiders while Brentson Buckner is shown the door.
Man.
Did this hurt you guys as much as it hurt me?
Yeah, hell yeah, dog. I immediately jumped in our group chat and I was like, man, did that shit really just happen? Did we just fire the one coach on this team that I was like, that motherfucker's dope. I like that dude. I was so happy with that dude, man. And then to see him gone after one season,
Yeah.
I thought he made a lot of improvement. And I was on as probably everybody else was on Twitter watching the comments, and you had people saying like, "Oh, I didn't see much of an improvement. 30 something sacks isn't that much, blah blah blah." But it's a lot compared to what we did last season, dog. And you can see more so for me, the most important part is that your players are buying into a coach. And what I saw from the little bit that we got to see on Hard Knocks and what we started seeing throughout the season is that this defensive line group was a very tight-knit group, and the coach, their defensive line coach, was the head of that group, right? So I think he was doing what we wanted to, and now we don't get to see what kind of improvements he could make going into the second season with these guys.
Yeah.
That to me is the disappointing part.
Yeah.
Because if he was able to make that much of a difference with this team, and yes, we added players. So yes, we got better just in terms of personnel. But I think there's a lot to be said about the way he talked to these guys, the way that he enforced the idea like, yo, this is not a guarantee. Like, your position here, your job here with this team is not a guarantee. So don't go out there and waste plays. Don't go out there and like not use what we're fucking talking about out here. We're talking about these moves, but I see you guys going out there, you're playing soft. He did that during preseason. You saw that a lot. He kept getting on people's asses about, what are you doing out there? I'm not seeing it. You're not doing enough. You could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
He kept saying that. He reiterated that to a lot of these guys. It doesn't matter that you're drafted. It doesn't matter that we picked you up from free agency or whatever.
You saw give old homeboy every opportunity.
Yeah.
And every way to try to fire him up.
Yeah.
Gone.
Well,
He gone, son.
see, what's funny about the Hard Knocks is that a lot of people say, "Oh, it was fake. Everybody was just putting it up for the camera, this and that." Coach Buck was the only one that you actually saw was a true guy.
Yeah.
Like his emotions, his actions.
Yeah.
He reminded me of that old school high school coach that basically looked out for you.
Yeah.
That defensive lineman coach that just basically said, because I played D-line as well when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I had that coach.
This big motherfucker over here.
Hey,
300 pounds.
I used to be
6'6".
I used to be like 220, bro. All right, I was fat, right, bro?
Fatima.
I was Fatiman, bro. But we had this coach during the summer, man, that we be dying out there during double days, and he makes sure that we actually were well, hydrated. He even had like the oranges out there too, so that we can have some sort of, like energy,
Right.
those electrolytes and all that. And
There you go.
that's what he reminded me of. He reminded me of that coach that actually cared enough to tell you that, look at you,
Yeah.
you ain't shit.
Back when coaches were coaches. Back when coaches would beat your dad's ass in front of you just to get you motivated. This is why you're so soft, Timmy.
Don't pay attention to this motherfucker.
No, it definitely hurt seeing Coach Buck be shown the door. But
Yeah. And you know what? I got to say another thing about it, dude. The way he handled it. He was really gracious about it too, man. Like he was there, he didn't show no signs of like being upset or anything like that. He's like, yo, I'm thankful for the opportunity that I got. And that tells me like this is a guy somehow, some way we gotta bring this guy back, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like really. He also, I think they also mentioned that he grew up a Raider fan.
Yeah, he did.
So that's even more so of a reason why it's kind of painful to see him go, man.
Tough to see. You got some great position
painful.
coaches on this team, and it shows off in the camaraderie in the personnel. Like you said, you saw that defensive line really working together as a team, even on the sideline, hanging out with each other the way they were. Same thing with his running back crew. Same thing with his tight end crew.
Yeah.
I forget the tight end coach's name, but he was on Hard Knocks too, featured pretty prominently. But those tight ends, they get up for each other, man. They love each other.
Absolutely.
This offensive line the same way. So it makes a lot when each little faction on your team, every little squad has their own squad within it, because it makes the overall, it's the Voltron effect, man.
Yeah.
And when it comes together, it's strong. But I don't like the move right now, but Marinelli's done well in every stint that he's had. Ryan Hawks wrote a piece on it this week, so when he comes on, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But Rod Marinelli, 70 years old. Shorty was saying he's going to be in that dude's grandparents' porno.
The third man. He's going to show up.
He's going to be delivering the pizza there.
He's going to be the guy that's delivering pizza, didn't know what was going on, but he's like, I guess.
In the business, that's what we call a two-hander. In the business.
I know what business you speak of, dog. I don't know what business.
The business.
I wasn't always into podcasting. All right.
Kenny used to do his own porno podcast. It was a live action porno.
I did do a lot of features. All of them were filmed for IMAX, so you may not have seen them.
Full on documentaries.
Yeah. Coming to a planetarium near you.
Oh, man.
Next. Tom Flores snubbed for the Hall of Fame this year. We kind of had this news while we got on the air last week.
Yeah.
It's sad to see, man. And Cliff Branch has to be a shoo-in this year, but this is a fucked up pattern that we're starting to see develop here. I'm not going to call it a pattern yet, but we have what could potentially be two
it's
posthumous inductions.
It's already there you
And
go.
Tom
There you go.
Flores, God bless. Hopefully nothing happens, but we're not getting any younger here, folks.
Well, Tom Flores is what, 80 years old?
84, I think.
84 years old?
Yeah, he's up there, man.
I mean, you really hope that that's not going to be the case, man. As Raider fans, look, we got to see. Listen, man. Here's my big issue. We talked about it a little bit last week, and we were laughing about Jimmy Johnson's reaction to when he got inducted and stuff, right? And you know what? And this is not to throw shade on anybody, and this is not to say that those guys don't deserve to go into the Hall.
No, yeah.
But when you have guys like that get to go into the Hall, and you have a man who has done more than them by far, okay? Jimmy Johnson, what do you have? 1 Super Bowl? 2 Super Bowls?
I think 2.
2 Super Bowls. Bill Cowher, 2 Super Bowls, right?
Mm-hmm.
None of those guys got Super Bowls as players.
No.
None of those guys got Super Bowls as assistant coaches.
No.
Tom Flores did.
Yeah.
Okay? So how are you going to tell me that those guys were more deserving than Tom Flores?
And none of those guys helped break down racial borders in the NFL
Exactly.
either.
The first
Let's just say
Hispanic quarterback to play, and the first Hispanic to win a Super Bowl as a player, as a coach. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. What can you tell me that's going to convince me that any of those guys are more deserving than this man? Not at all. And
nothing.
and
You
people
can't say nothing.
People can fucking bring up his fucking record once he left the Raiders and all that kind of bullshit. That shit don't matter.
No.
He broke barriers, and he did it in all facets of the game. So how the fuck are you gonna fucking convince me otherwise? You full of shit.
And not to hate, but Johnson and Cowher, They're getting shine right now. They're on TV
Right.
every freaking weekend. So let them ride their spotlight, and let's give some respect to a man that deserves it more than them, doesn't get enough spotlight, and that's personal decisions. He's stuck by his team this whole time. Tom Flores has been a member of the broadcasting crew with the Raiders for countless years.
Yeah.
This is the first year that he hasn't been, whether he's been on air calling the game or he was post game for a long time and pre-game before that. He was on with the Ticket 1050 back in the day. He's been riding with this team, this organization as an employee for a very long time. Tom Flores deserves this more than those guys right now.
Yeah.
No disrespect. With all due respect,
And with all due respect,
Cow and Johnson, they're going to be around longer. And I
Yeah.
hate to say that, but
Right.
they are going to be around longer. And
And Jimmy Johnson's hair is going to be around for fucking ever. It's probably going to end up in a museum somewhere. So, just saying.
It's gonna last with the Twinkies. It's gonna make the apocalypse there.
Jimmy Johnson's hair will be on the halftime show in 2070.
On a fucking robot.
With Shakira's hips.
They're going to put him on Cletus, the Fox robot.
Is that what the name of the
Yeah.
Fox robot is?
Cletus, yeah.
No shit, I didn't know that.
What the fuck?
That's some trivia right there. Trivia for your ass.
Yeah. All right.
Cletus.
Next.
No, listen, man. And then you touched on it a little bit. You're talking about Branch. I mean, listen, people are, I'm sure everybody saw this. People are making a big ass deal about the Cowboys wide receiver that didn't get in, and the video of him like throwing, like
His
he's
reaction
pissed
and all
off
that,
and
yeah.
sad. And by all means, again, that doesn't mean that I don't think that guy should be in. Absolutely. Like they say that he's, he's the only offensive player in the 1970s all-decade team
Wow.
to not make the Hall of Fame, right? So your boy did a little research.
Okay.
Okay, I did a little research when I saw that. I'm like, okay, everybody's like up in arms, like, oh, how could you do this to this man and all this kind of stuff. But we've been dealing with this shit for fucking years as Raider fans. So I was like, oh, let me just do a little research. Let me do a little research as far as like who the fuck is on this all-decade team. And let me see.
All dickhead team.
Oh,
did you
yeah,
say?
all dickhead team. All decade team. But all dickhead team. And I made my comparisons with the receivers that are there. So you have Lynn Swan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft.
Yeah. On the first team. You have Pearson. I think that's his last name. That was on the second team. And then you had a couple other guys. One guy from Philadelphia and another guy from, I want to say Miami, but I'm probably wrong on that.
Bonacani.
And there was probably only one of these guys that had bigger numbers than Cliff Branch. Okay. And a lot of these guys, I noticed that a lot of their production was either in the 60s or maybe a little bit later. Like they didn't have, because I thought maybe it's because Cliff didn't have the full 10 years in the 70s. Maybe that's why he got left. No, he ranks, as far as if you put him with up against those four guys that are on that team, he ranks second in receiving yards. I think he ranks most in touchdowns.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's right up there, man. He's got multiple Super Bowls. He's got a bunch of Pro Bowls. Like his stats, they stack up or they're better than the majority of the guys that are on that team. So first of all, he gets snubbed from the all-decade team. Okay. And then he hasn't been inducted into the Hall of Fame when every player that actually played against him would tell you that guy's a Hall of Famer, right? He was the hardest guy to have to guard against, right? It's a shame, man. It's a shame, and it's as Raider fans, we're good into conspiracy against the Raiders, right? We believe in it because we see it every damn year. Something happens, something goes to the point where you're saying like, well, yeah, of course, because they go against us. And these Hall of Fame snubs, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same shit. And then people can say like, oh, well, yeah, you guys are crying about it. You guys just come up with excuses. No, there's a lot that goes with it. There's a lot that goes with it. The history of Al Davis fighting the NFL, suing the NFL, and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's all wrapped up into it.
It's all part of the reason why these guys don't get in when they're supposed to. You know what I mean? And
grudges die hard, man. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Just a message to the committee. Let these guys have an opportunity to speak on their own behalf and give them their just due and allow them to put on that jacket. These guys fought during a time where they weren't getting awarded like the modern day athlete was. They were putting their life on the line, literally, every week, not for millions of dollars, not for longevity, not for no after plan when they retired. Most of them opening up car lots and shit like that when they retired. Restaurant franchises, insurance agencies, anything they could do to stay afloat. Give these guys, Raiders are not an opportunity to see their bust and put on the jacket before they pass away. Let their family watch them on stage accept the award.
Right.
Because they've been with them through thick and thin. Most of them, don't have it all upstairs. Most of them, like Jim Otto, could barely walk, can't walk.
Yeah.
That's right. He's in pieces, man.
And luckily he's in there, but guys like that really put everything they had on the line and really mortgaged their own future. And the NFL is just going to turn their back on them like that. Tom Flores not getting in this year, an absolute travesty. Cowher and Johnson, they have some time. You can get them in. They deserve it, like we said. But man, Tom Flores did it all. He did it for Raider Nation, and he did it for his people, man. In professional sports during a time where that was something that was brand new. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Can't argue with that.
And not only that, if the NFL is really all about business, like they say, it would make even more sense to have Tom Flores in, dude.
Yeah.
You're talking about having a market south of the border that's really, really big, and that are getting more and more into American football.
Well,
that's a great point.
Here's another issue, and I've spoke about this before. Everyone's seen that fucking Modelo commercial
Terrible.
with Anthony Munoz and fucking what the fuck is his name? Tony Gonzalez, and I don't know who else out there, right? And they're like, oh, they're pumping up about the first Hispanics to play the game and all that kind of shit. I'm like, no, they're not. Where the fuck is Jim Plunkett? Where the fuck is Tom Flores? Like, get the fuck out, get these dumbasses off my screen, man.
Tony Gonzalez looks like he makes trash salsa. That's all I'm saying.
he actually makes a paste picante.
That motherfucker don't make no salsa, dog.
Would you rather have salsa from Flores' house or from Tony Gonzalez's house?
Absolutely, Flores.
Oh, dude,
Right?
no doubt, dude.
Right?
Tom Flores, dude. He's in the tailgate, bro. He knows how to tailgate.
Yeah. There's no molcajete in Tony Gonzalez's house, bro. Come on now.
Fuck out of here.
He don't even know what that is.
He got that fucking ninja. He's got that ninja. He thinks he's making salsa.
Shit, I got a ninja downstairs.
Hey, it gets the job done. I'm just saying it's not molcajete.
You need that pistol and mortar. More disgusting news. Tom Brady photographed speaking with your owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, Mark Davis, at a UFC event last night at the Conor McGregor Cerrone. Cerrone fight.
Cowboy,
yeah.
Cowboy, yeah. Dana White spoke after the fight. Said if that dude's not playing for Boston, he's playing here. So I don't know.
Apparently he's a really close friend of his.
Yeah,
and he is a fucking Pats fan too. So he's Dana White's from New England or from Boston.
Okay.
He's from Boston.
Yeah.
So he's a Pats fan.
Okay.
And he's a really close friend, I guess. At least that's how they said it. He's a really close friend of Tom Brady's. And he just acknowledged that it does have legs. Like, people asked him, like, do you see Tom Brady coming to Vegas? He's like, it definitely has legs. That's definitely a real possibility.
So y'all scoffed at me when I brought this up as a possibility a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it's time to revisit this maybe once again for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, word on the street, I'm not going to tell you where I heard this from, but word on the street is Tom's moving out of New England.
Yeah.
And he's got his personal trainer out there in Vegas looking at property. Understand that Tom Brady does train in the offseason in Los Angeles. There are many athletes that do train in Las Vegas. Could be a coincidence. Las Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world, as it's billed as. Tom Brady will make his career as some sort of an entertainer after football is over.
He's gonna have a one-man show.
He's got too much of a face not to be. Whether
him and Giselle up in fucking MGM.
I mean, whether it's TV or whether it's broadcast, Tom Brady's gonna. He's gonna have his face out there. And
man, if you got dumbasses like if you have fucking who came out of retirement for the Cowboys? tight end.
Oh, yeah. Oh, why am I blanking?
Yeah, he went and he did, they gave him a job as an announcer. He sucked, bro.
Yeah.
He sucked. That's why he came out of retirement. He's like, man, I'm not good at this at all. Let me go try to play football again.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude.
Witten.
Witten. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That guy was horrible.
Yeah.
So if a guy like that can do, get on, and he's, who is he in comparison to a guy like Tom Brady? Yeah, of course Tom Brady's gonna get a fucking job as an announcer. If he wants it, he's got it.
Well, maybe Tom Brady's gonna, be working the Bellagio, dude, with Tom Jones or something. Like.
It's not unusual.
Yeah, the other half of that rumor was that John flew out to Vegas last night and had dinner with Mark and Tom. So that's just some rumor mill stuff. I'm not going to say where that came from, and I'm not going to say that it's solid gold, but it is out there floating in the wind and highly possible. But, I mean, if this team were to move on from Derek Carr and bring in a young guy this year, that is a move, whether you want to see it or not, whether you want to hear it or not, does make a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we can argue about it, but we've kind of already talked about that. We're just going to let that go for now and see how it plays out. But to guarantee this is going to be an ongoing story throughout the offseason.
Yeah. There's a lot of dudes out there that are throwing a fit, too, though, on Twitter. I saw some dude had the audacity to say, like, he was going to burn 30 years of Raider memorabilia if it happens.
Yeah, don't do that.
Get the
God.
fuck out of here.
Hey, you know what? I'll take some of that memorabilia, bro.
Yeah, don't burn that shit.
Don't burn it.
Send that shit our way.
Send it to the crow's nest, dog.
Come on, man.
Whoa.
So
You talking silly shit.
I'll reset this take again, as unpopular as it is. You can hate on Tom Brady all you want. There's plenty of reasons to hate on that guy. There's plenty of reasons not to, but I'm just sick of seeing the Patriots. I don't have hatred towards the Patriots for us losing that Tuck Roll game. That's on the officiating. I've said that before. I've also said the Raiders had a chance to shut that game down still and win after that bullshit call, regardless of momentum and all that. They could have shut that game out still. Could have happened. It was possible. We were winning. Didn't get the job done. So I don't hate on them for those reasons. They took advantage of a shitty situation for us, a great situation for them, and turned it into a dynasty. So, but I'm not going to say I'm going to like that move the way it looks, but hell, I want to win games too.
Yeah, listen, man. So somebody posed the question: if you would you rather bring Tom Brady in and possibly win a fucking Super Bowl, or just stay the course and try to draft somebody and then fucking go who knows how long before, And I think that would be the cure all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now listen.
Then you got to hear people go, "Oh, you guys had to sign Tom Brady."
Right.
to get the job
I know,
done.
and that sucks. And that's horrible.
That's
but
the
at the end of the
yeah.
day, this is a team sport.
Mhm.
Okay? So just like we see our players come and go, just like we saw Mac go to the Bears, and now we're not Mac fans. I'm not a Mac fan, right? I'm a Raider fan, okay? Amari Cooper, you were on this team. We supported you. We made excuses for you. We try to help you out. We try to give you encouragement, whatnot. You were dropping the ball. You get sent to Cowboys. Guess what? Now we hate your guts, Amari Cooper, okay? It's not about an individual player, man. It's not about that, especially if those players leave or they come in with already having a bad, bad reaction to Raider fans.
Yeah.
Right? The guys that leave and they leave on good terms, we'll support them.
Always
we'll say
a
hey,
Raider.
man, yeah, you're always a
Raider.
Raider, right?
Yeah.
But you leave like a little bitch, you best believe you're gonna hear it.
Randy Moss.
You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel
Yeah.
it, right? And don't be mad at us when we get on your ass about it. Because I saw Jihad Ward going back and forth with some fans.
Salt was flying around.
He was extra.
Jihad
He was
Ward-
getting extra spicy. He was trying to get into some fucking fights, man.
He was trying to fight people.
Yeah, he's trying to fight
He's
people.
a bum as a player. You're a bum. A bum. Hey, but on the flip side, there's been players that, were completely anti-Raiders, but because of their attitude when they announced, their start with the Raiders, people got excited. Bill Romanowski was not a guy that you wanted, that you hated him as a Raider fan. But as soon as he was a Raider, you were happy. Ronnie Lott, you hated because he played for the 49ers. But once he was a Raider, you're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Vontae's perfect, right? Richie Incognito. So, but that's the thing, though. I think that makes this harder to digest.
Yeah.
Is that you don't look at Tom Brady as that guy's a Raider,
No, of
waiting
course
to
not.
be a Raider.
You don't see him that way, and we won't ever see him that way until he actually ends up on this team. If he actually ends up on this team,
I'd rather start the rumor that Davis and Brady were talking, about like hair tips or something. It's like, hey, Mark. So how do you get your hair so perfectly lined up like a bowl?
Real quick, shout
Give
out
that
to
shout out.
to Robert G for the donation.
Hell yeah.
He asked, do you think Brady demands top dollar? Not sure I like it if we pay top money on a geriatric Brady. I don't consider Brady geriatric yet. I don't think he's as nimble as he once was.
But was he ever nimble?
He was never graceful, but he could move out the pocket if he had to. When you see him now, he looks like a Buick with 3 wheels. But he can still throw a nice ball. Tom can still throw a nice ball, and its ability to
Scraping, dog.
it's his ability to coach on the field and hopefully maybe mentor somebody. He wasn't the greatest mentor to Jimmy G, but also he was trying to hold on to his reins as a starter. At this point now, coming into Oakland, he'd be signing his last contract and knowing he was on the eclipse, the twilight of his career, I should say, the twilight of his career. So it might be a different story. Do you pay him? Do you think he demands top dollar? I do think he demands high money. This guy's been taking pay cuts for years. He's coming to a place that has no state tax and in a team that has a fair amount of cap space, and they're due to save an additional $16 million if they were to move on from Derek Carr. So I think he would demand pretty high money, more than he has signed for recently. And I think the Raiders would be. I think they'd be down to pay it on the short term. I really do. I think Mark Davis is a guy that likes splash and is wants to just win immediately in Las Vegas. And this is a type of move that you pull if you're a team that's looking to cash in early, and as well as maybe put in for the long haul, because now you're attaching your trailer to somebody who you don't need to count on as a franchise quarterback. You're attaching your trailer to a guy that's got pedigree that can hopefully groom for the future, and then you can move on from mutually in just a few years. So again, in a lot of regards, this does make some sense.
Well, I mean, it reminds you a lot of kind of the Denver move, right, with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, exactly that.
So
except they had nobody there.
Right.
They thought they did, but they
Right,
with
right.
Paxton Lynch.
No,
right?
well, yeah, absolutely. The difference is that the kind of quarterbacks that were there in Denver were far and beyond worse than Derek Carr. But it you can still make the comparison as far as like bringing in a veteran that you know is on his last legs. He's got maybe a year or two on those legs, right? So you want to try to cash in, and so I think. Let's just say it happens. Okay, let's just say it happens.
I think it's happening.
Okay, and I know you've said it. You go on record to say that you feel like it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But let's say it happens, okay? Because we can't tell the future. Let's say it happens. I think what you're gonna see then is Tom Brady comes in here. People are saying, is he gonna ask top dollar? I think he's gonna want to get some money, but I don't think he's gonna be like, oh, I need to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Okay, he's gonna come in. And I think you see a guy that's going to get paid a little bit more than he was getting in New England, right? But you're also going to see a guy that you saw in New England that was willing to take a pay cut to get the additions that are needed, right, to make this team better. So Tom Brady, let's get this straight. Tom Brady ain't going to leave New England to go somewhere else and lose.
Yeah.
That's not what he wants to end his legacy with. Like, oh, yeah, I went and I got a paycheck and then I just got out of it. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's trying to leave like the best legacy of any quarterback ever, right?
But he also brings gravity where wide receivers
absolutely
maybe take a little bit less to play in a tax-free state
absolutely
with Tom Brady.
Absolutely. So this is what I'm saying. So it happens. Let's say it happens. Then you're going to see the Raiders start to focus heavily on guaranteed players, right? Veterans. Either they're making trades or they pick up some of these free agents that we know for sure are going to pay off for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it starts to weigh heavily in terms of like what they're willing to take to play with a guy that has, the pedigree of a Tom Brady. Whether we hate it or whether we hate him or not, the motherfucker's won 6 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
That's all a lot of people need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are willing to say, like, I'll fucking give up a year and play for cheap, play on the cheap if it means that I'm gonna get a ring, right? You saw a bunch of people doing it. So, yeah, that's what I would expect to happen immediately. And you keep the young pieces in place, right? that that are already starting to pan out for you. But some of these other guys that have been on the bubble that are questionable that we're still not sure about, you're gonna see those motherfuckers disappear real fast. You know what I mean? So that's what's in. That's it. That's what you could look forward to. I mean, that's what you could see happening in the future if that does happen, man.
Yeah.
And then if you do get a Tom Brady, like you said, you end up drafting a quarterback, right? You end up trying to draft a young quarterback to school him up behind a guy like Tom Brady, and then we don't know what happens to Derek Carr. Derek Carr's more than likely gone.
Yeah, that would be exciting, right? Watching Brady and Carr compete for a starting position. That's super exciting, but I don't see Brady and Carr on the same team at the same time.
I mean, you gotta, we talked about it a little bit too, that I don't see Derek Carr doing well being told he's not going to be the starting quarterback anymore, right? He's probably going to want to go somewhere else, or even more so, just go away. That's what I would say. If somebody comes in, if they bring in another quarterback, if you bring in Tom Brady, the expectation is that he's probably going to start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to expect him to not start over Derek Carr when Derek Carr has not had the best success in the last few years. So if you bring in a guy like that, Derek Carr's got to know, I'm about to sit. I'm about to sit this bitch. So now I have a life decision to make.
Yeah.
Do I want to go and become a preacher? You know, because I'm already on my path. Or do I try to get on with another team and see if I can make something happen over there?
Yeah. Well, they could say goodbye to each other in the parking lot because they will not be here at the same time, save for that moment. And last thing on this, I guess, unless Bobby, you want to chime in, is, you know, we saw it last year. The Raiders are in a rebuild still. This will be, year 3, really year 2 of the rebuild. The first year was another purge under John Gruden. You know, in this rebuild, they've also, you know, shown that they're willing to take some win now shots with the AB thing, AB, Trent Brown, and Tyrell Williams last offseason. So, you know, they feel like there's enough talent on this team to get to the tournament at the very least, even though they are building one break at a time. You want to get in on that?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, we are going to Vegas. We do like to gamble out there, and that's what's happening right now. I mean, you just mentioned it right there with the whole AB thing. I mean, a lot of people were against that. A lot of people were against the Burfict thing as well. There's a lot of moves out there. Trent Brown, how many people were like, oh, no, he's overpriced and blah, blah, blah. And, oh, my goodness, you're switching him over to the other side that he's not used to, this and that.
He was one of the top right tackles in the league this year.
I mean, it's right there. You have to take chances, man. I mean, big risk, big reward. I mean, shit, who was this? Mobb Deep that said it best. I mean, scared money don't make money, though.
That's it.
There you go.
And straight out, I mean, right now we have to play with that because we do got the tax-free thing going for us.
Yeah.
We do have an incentive going on right there. And if for some weird reason Tom Brady does come on, I mean, like you said, it's like people want to go out there and play for him because there's a possibility there. There's a chance. Whereas with DC, he hasn't shown that heart anymore. I mean, he has the talent. He can do it. He proved it at that last game, but it's not there no more, man.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that heart no more.
It's a mindset, man. I wouldn't say heart, because heart, as far as heart goes, DC will play through injury. We've seen him play through injury. We see him take a hit. He gets back up. He'll play through it, whatever. It's a mentality. There's something that makes him not see plays all the way through sometimes.
Yeah,
Let me just say
it's
that.
on a play-to-play basis.
Yeah.
Down the home stretch with the back against the wall, hey, I'll take him in the clutch. But is he playing like that in the second quarter on second down with 7 yards to go? Would seem like a routine play. Are you treating every play like it's the last play in the game?
Right.
And we don't see
Right.
that. But we've had that discussion. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Real quick, though, did we give a shout-out to 3 Rings?
That's what I wanted to get
Yeah.
to. Shout out to 3 Ring Raiders. Again, thank you for the donation. You guys are being very generous tonight. He says he misses the Crow's Nest podcast. We have a Crow's Nest podcast tonight.
Miss us no more, son.
Miss us no more. We will. And the Crow's Nest podcast eventually, once all of our schedules settle down here at some point, I'm not going to promise you anytime soon, but we'll have a live video stream for that too.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, one more thing.
gonna
Hardcore
be
wanted
fire,
to
too.
find out if for some weird reason Brady does come to the Raiders and they do win a Super Bowl, is him and Mark Davis going to make out like Robert Kraft?
Yes.
and will Vegas take those parlay bets?
Oh yeah, that would be.
That's my thing, dude. They say,
Will if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, will he kiss Mark Davis on the lips?
how long?
What's the bet? What's the over-under?
The
What's the
parlay, dude.
over-under?
How many seconds?
Prop
Dude?
bet.
How many seconds?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
Where's Adam Sandler, dog?
But Tom Brady's got to sit in the same room and watch Mark Davis get a lap dance.
Let me just say
Real
this.
awkward.
Oh man.
They never break eye contact.
I gotta say this though, man. If Tom Brady comes here
Say that.
and he was to win a Super Bowl, and then he did kiss Mark Davis in the lips, that motherfucker deserves a bonus.
Who, Mark Davis?
No, Tom Brady, man. How you gonna look that man in the face and give him a kiss, dog? Come on, bro.
I quit this podcast.
Come on, bro.
Podcast is fucking canceled.
That motherfucker deserves a bonus, dog. Shit, that's the scariest thing you've ever kissed in your life.
Yeah, Mark
just
Davis.
saying.
Mark Davis would definitely be batting out of his league. if Tom Brady kissed him.
Well, it'd be like Mark Davis
Mark
made
Davis is gonna have dreams, bro. He's gonna have he's gonna be in the clouds that
He'd be
night.
dreaming of Giselle, bro.
I can't believe this just happened. Can we tell all my friends?
All right.
I fucking
Before we move forward, we're getting into Crow's Nest podcast territory. Before we move forward, I want to make this announcement. We're going to take a break here shortly, but I do want to reset this. We are having the first ever Silver and Black bracket this offseason.
Yeah.
This is going to go on all offseason. We're going to do part of a different round every single week. What we need is your submissions for Raiders that deserve to be on the greatest of all time list. We're going to find out who is going to be the greatest Raider of all time by process of elimination. So, guys, Raiders that you feel need to be in this tree, in this tournament bracket, we need your submissions.
yeah, absolutely.
There is a link in the description of this podcast. If you're listening back, go to the description. If you are watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description. We will be tweeting this out all week. We need your submissions this week. We may extend this for 2 weeks, but I want to see how many we get this week. In fact, I want to know how many we have right now. I just kind of tweeted this out a little earlier. Only 12 responses in right now. Some really strong names in there. You could submit more than one name. So get on there. Just click the link. It's a Google form. It's safe. You don't have to sign in. You don't have to use your email. No, nothing. It's completely anonymous. Just give us your answer, your submissions, and we're going to read those off next week. We're going to see what we have. If we're cool with all of them, we're going to throw all of them in. All right? If after 2 weeks we feel like there's some missing names, we'll sit here up on the show in the Crow's Nest and we'll add some more in there. And then we're going to get started with your votes and by process of elimination, find out who is the greatest Raider of all time.
Hey, Grizz wants to find out if the bracket is just for players or coaches as well.
I think you have to include coaches. I think that's a great question. I think you have to include coaches. We're talking about greatest Raider of all time. And you can't have that conversation without talking about guys like Tom Flores, who was also a coach as well as a player, without talking about guys like John Madden, right?
Yeah.
So Art Modell. No, not Art
Art
Modell.
Shell.
Sorry,
Art
Art
Shell.
Shell. That's not who I was thinking of, though. I was thinking of, I'm blinking right now, our GM.
Reggie.
No. He was the GM under Al Davis. I don't know why I'm blanking right now.
Ron Wolf.
Yeah, Ron Wolf. Thank
Ron
you
Wolf.
very much. That was killing me right now. Ron Wolf. So guys like that. Al Davis, obviously being an obvious one. So, I mean, he might be your odds-on favorite to win the whole damn thing. So really quick before we go to break, real fast, one name, no explanation. Who's your odds-on favorite to win this whole thing?
To win the greatest Raider, huh?
Real quick, no explanation. Just give me a name. Bobby.
Flores.
Tom Flores. Look at that endorsement. I'm going to say Al Davis.
Well, man, you guys took the. I'm just gonna throw Ron Wolf then. I'm just gonna say Ron Wolf.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Ron Wolf because
to win the whole thing?
yeah, because listen, we talked about it a little bit,
Yeah.
right? We talked about it a little bit of I don't know what.
Yeah,
episode
how
that
much
was.
he's responsible
Yeah.
for. Yeah, all of that.
For the draft, for the players, for the scouting, all that stuff that the guys that were brought in during that era, and Ron Wolf went on to do the same for a lot of other teams, man. So I think without question, Ron Wolf deserves to be in the finals.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's a smart man's answer right there.
Yeah.
You know, other names. you
Yeah,
can see in
that
there
was an
is
easy answer. But my other, if I'm going with a player, I go Tim Brown.
Tim Brown. That's what I thought you were going to say.
And you know why I go Tim Brown? Because he never fucking left us, dog.
No.
As a fucking as good as he was, and when he was
Well,
at
he-
his peak, he stuck by the Raiders.
Well, he played for the Bucks.
Well, yeah, but that's at the end, bro,
Yeah.
when his fucking legs were falling off already. But all I'm saying is, like, this dude had a chance. He could have left and gone somewhere else when he was
he almost went to the Broncos.
when he was still in his prime.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. He stayed a Raider. Okay, so, you know, I appreciate that.
Those are good answers.
Yeah.
You know, Kenny Stabler obviously is going to be up there.
Yeah.
In that tournament. So get your submissions in. There's a lot of names. Even if you don't think he's going to be the guy, you know, use your imagination. Just let's get some names in there. They're going to spark some good conversation and some good Raider stories. Just throw them all at the wall, guys. We want to make this tournament big and robust. Let's just get everybody in there that you can think of. And we'll get them in the bracket for you. We'll be talking about this all off season. We'll be taking your phone calls on it. It'll be a nice conversation topic, especially in some of the slower weeks as we hit those later months in the off season. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a break. I'm going to get Ryan on the phone, and we're going to take care of our gentleman duties, as it were. And we'll see you guys on the other side. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Enjoy a little good music,
Peace.
new music.
New music. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
I had it going.
Hey, 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 hey. Hope you guys are enjoying the music. Chase says I can't let it go to the chorus because it gets too crazy. I don't disagree. Pete says 0 under 5. 0 out of 5 would not recommend this weight music. Why is that, Pete? I'll change it up if you give me a good reason. No, Kaufman. It is any player that's ever played for the Raiders.
Second check.
So it works. Oh shit, my bad. I thought you were handing him to me, dog. I'm sorry. Sounds like two robots having revenge sex.
Ryan,
That's exactly what he was going for.
Ryan, Ryan, are you there? Can't get Ryan on the line right now. Let me try one more time. It is what I was going for. Exactly what I was going for.
Something mellow.
Hey, you've reached Ryan. Leave me a message.
Oh, Ryan's not picking up. So you could bring Kane on right here, I guess, or we can just roll out to the second half. Yeah, just move on to the second half. Let's see if Kane's on the phone.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, Ryan says he's calling back.
Okay. There we go.
St. Kaufman says that it sounds like two robots having revenge sex.
Yeah, we just we were just talking about that. I said that's exactly what he was going for. It's exactly what Kenny was going for, bro.
All right, attempt 2.
Ryan, that sounds like shit right now.
Does that sound like shit?
Yeah, that sounds terrible. You're gonna have to unplug that mic or something.
All right, I'm just going to have to go with the micless then.
All right,
It might hang up again. I won't be surprised.
all right. Stand by and figure it out. I gotta do something over here.
All right, it didn't. Is it any better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's much better.
Yeah, because listen,
You're gonna take care of our. Hold on one second, and we'll see you guys on the other side. We'll be right back.
yep.
Enjoy a little good music,
Peace.
new music.
New music.
Just gonna cue this up right here, Ryan, and then we'll be right back.
Ding, 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 ding. Cyborg bone tunes.
No explanation. Just give me a name. Bobby.
Flores.
Tom Flores. Look at that endorsement.
He didn't.
Yeah. Guys, we want to make this tournament big and robust. Let's just get everybody in there that you can think of, and we'll get them in the bracket for you. We'll be talking about
some live editing here.
Live editing.
You know, we're gonna take care of our gentleman duties, as it were, and we'll see you guys on the other side. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Enjoy a little good music,
Peace.
new music.
New music.
All right, cool. All right, here we go. Thanks for standing by, everybody.
Hey,
Wasn't
no
prepared for all
worries.
these changes. Wasn't prepared for all these changes on my end. All right, Ryan, I'm gonna bring us back, and then I'm gonna cue you in, and then we'll get right to it. Okay.
Alrighty.
And we're back on the air. Joining us tonight is Ryan Hawks from the Raider Ramble. Ryan, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm pretty good, guys. I'm super stoked to be on here. Super stoked. Thanks for getting me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Ryan, you and I have been talking for a while. This is long overdue. You know my co-hosts, Bobby Wasabi and Che.
Yeah.
Bobby Wasabi, Jay, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, Ryan?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging out.
And drinking beers.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Drinking beers. Why don't you listen in here as Che brings us in with beer number 2.
Oh, número dos. Oh,
Numero
yeah.
dos.
Here we go. This one, your boy Bobby came upstairs and had this beer in his hand. He's like, "Hey, check this out," and he handed it to me, and I was like, "Oh man, good looking out." And then he's like, "All right, well, let me go get myself one now," because I didn't tell him that I needed a second beer. But good looking out, dog. He was
Always.
willing to make that sacrifice. He's like, "You're a little limp right now. I'm gonna go down there and get another fucking beer for myself, since you can't walk downstairs."
Always, man. You because you're the convalescent in the room right now, there.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. These fucking 97-year-old knees that I got, they're not doing me well anymore. But listen, man, we got this sud work. Okay, this is the Fun House. We've had one of these Fun House before, but this is a cranberry raspberry
Oh wow,
sour. All right,
man.
Ooh.
and
I
this
wish
Sudwork,
I was drinking that right
yeah,
now.
Sudwork Brewing is out of Davis, California. So shout out. Let me give this a little taste real quick.
Nice.
Oh man,
It's that cranberry, man.
cranberry was meant for sour beer.
Oh yeah, that tartness is on there right there. I like that.
Definitely.
I like that. Nice sour tart beer. This is a 4.5 by volume.
Crush those all day.
Yeah, you can crush these all day.
I know these
For
ain't
sure.
no winter beers because I know the sours are normally for the summer, but I figured, you know what, I was bringing over some carnitas, so
Oh, this would go good with the carnitas.
so that's why, man. I
As a
went
matter
for
of
the
fact, when
sours.
this show wraps up, best believe him, buddy.
He's crushing those.
But yeah, shout out Sudwork.
So Ryan Hawks,
Hey,
you're
those
from
are
San
sweet,
Diego.
though.
You're from San Diego. What do you know about carnitas?
Oh, you better know this.
Oh,
You better know
carnitas? Woo. I know there's a couple good spots over here with some carnitas. I think the best one used to be, it was like I forgot what it was called. It was in North Park, but it closed down. It was like something random, like, no, it wasn't Snack Shack or something, but yeah, man, I'm all about the carne asada fries and stuff down here, though.
Yeah,
That's
that's yeah.
the good stuff.
Yeah.
Those just made it up here a couple years ago, but you guys have been rocking those pretty heavy in San Diego for quite some time.
Oh, heck yeah! I mean, now they're expensive too. But I remember in high school we'd go half on them, a friend, and they were only like $5.
Damn. So before we
It's at
get
$2.50.
started, Ryan, let's learn a
Yeah.
little bit about you as a person. Where can people follow you on social media, and who do you write for right now?
All right, so I joined the Raider Ramble right before the season started. You could find me on Twitter at Ryan World Eater. Initially, that was my podcast I made with my buddy. The real reason I joined Twitter was for this World Eater podcast, which kind of went defunct pretty quickly. But then I quickly on actually joined Last Word on Sports. So you can find my stuff there. I write some fantasy football. I do a lot of fantasy football. My Raider content's on Raider Ramble. And I actually do some kind of random video game stuff, too, which is on the lifestyle section of Last Word on Sports, which would just be lastwordonsports.life. I'm the managing editor over there. So trying to kind of build that up. That's kind of the kind of stepchild of Last Word on Sports. So it's kind of smaller, but yeah, check out all that stuff over there.
Man, you're a busy guy right now. So you're a gamer. I've been playing a game myself pretty heavy lately, but I want to know, before we get into this football stuff, let's keep it light. What's your desert island video game? If you somehow had electrical connection on a desert island with a game console and a television and a Wi-Fi connection, what would be your go-to game? Your one game you could play over and over again?
Ooh. Okay, now my question is, am I going to get some cell phone signal out there?
Sure. Sure, why not?
Okay. Because I play this mobile game, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I've been playing that for like about over 3 years, 3.5 years actually, and that's pretty much in like the little bit of free time I have to like traveling and stuff. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius would probably be the game I got to go with on this one.
All right.
Just mobile, give me a phone charger, and I'm good to go.
Sounds good. Packing light for the desert island.
You know, plug that shit into a palm tree. Fucking coconut.
Yeah.
Hey, if the doc can make a radio out of coconuts, I'm pretty sure you can make a charger.
He's gonna have a fucking some solar panels, some coconuts.
Yeah, I'll find something.
Actually,
in high school, a science project, I made like a freaking battery out of a potato once.
Right.
I remember that. I was like, what the hell?
We give you
a light bulb.
We give you some tin foil, some algae, and see if you can get the job done.
Yeah.
Ryan Hawks,
make it happen.
what's the worst game you've ever played? Worst game ever?
Oh man, the worst game I ever played? Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I play some bad games out there.
I gotta say, E.T. for Atari. Oh, the worst game I ever played.
Well, that goes down
E.T.
as
for
like
Atari.
the worst game of all time.
that goes down as the worst
I
game
was there
of all
for
time.
it. It was the worst game of all time.
You
'Cause there
bought
was
it?
there was a
I didn't play that one, luckily. There's a pretty bad Superman game I remember playing for, I think it was either like a Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis.
that was the
It
worst.
terrible.
That was the worst. The theme song from
was
that game
bad.
still triggers me. All right, that's a good entry.
I'd play fucking Pong over that.
Hey, Pong's a good game, bro. It's the one that started it all. It's a good
Strategy.
game.
Yeah.
We'll whip your ass at Pong. Get out of here. Bring it on combat. I got you, bro. If disappearing tanks, fuck out of here. I'll fucking kick your ass. Anything 8 bits or less?
you get
Hold my beer.
You're getting the old school fucking 1980s fucking shit talk right now.
Let's go, bro.
I'll kick your ass, bro.
Ooh, okay.
I'll kick your ass at Circus Atari, bro. All right, so this week you wrote an article on the Rod Marinelli situation here in Oakland, the Buckner firing. Nobody here in the studio likes to see Buckner walk. He was a fan favorite, really endeared people during Hard Knocks this last season. You saw him on the sideline, very fired up. The defensive line really seemed to buy into Buckner. He's gone. Marinelli is in. Talk us off the ledge, Ryan. Why do we need to be excited about this move, and what could this mean long term for the Raiders?
Well, full disclosure first, I didn't write the Marinelli one. I think, was that Carlos Sanchez or was it another of our? I think we got like 3 Ryans over here at the Raider Ramble. So it could have been, no, I don't know, Lurid Raider. That's what I'm seeing wrote that one.
Okay, my bad.
Besides,
My bad.
What's that?
I said my bad. I had that as you for some reason, but I must have been reading too quickly.
Yeah, hey, no worries. But, I mean, Buckner, I mean, I don't know. I think the way it was with us, he was an above average coach. We saw him on Hard Knocks. We kind of got attached, like you guys were kind of saying earlier. He was real, and we liked that. But, I mean, again, Marinelli has a track record. He comes in, he takes over, defenses, he improves teams. I mean, and I'm not really sold. I mean, I'm not saying, Buckner was a bad coach. He was great. But at the same time, I think a lot of the production was just because of the guys we had, compared to the year before. And I mean, I don't know if, Buckner's really as much of a world beater as many of us maybe think. I think we're just kind of like, oh, the defense improved a lot. We got a lot more sacks. So that's my take on it.
Fair enough. And Grizz actually in the chat points out now that he doesn't believe that Buckner's social media usage and arguing with the fans went over well. I personally missed all that. I had no idea that was going on.
There was times where people, but you know what, man, Twitter, people fucking fire off bullshit takes, bro, and they're like they start saying stuff about players and stuff like that.
It's toxic.
And Coach Buck was coming to the defense, basically putting people in their place.
That's good.
I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah,
I wasn't mad at
you.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real motherfucker.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, that's what Buckner does, right? He puts people in their place, and that place may not be with the Raiders. So, and then, and I like that. I think we all like that. I think we saw that in Hard Knocks come through, and we saw it shine through in the season. Guys that were performing earned more playing time, and we haven't seen that in a while in Raider Nation. It seems so logical of a process. But it's like, why aren't these guys getting more shine? And I think Buckner did at the very least. And I know it's not just his decision, but did a really good job of juggling personnel and getting guys in a position to succeed and keeping them there when he saw something was working. So I don't like to see it go. It was Carlos Sanchez that wrote that article, who does a lot of great work over there at the Raider Ramble and outside the Ramble. Shout out to you, Carlos. I'm sorry for the mistake. But in that article, Carlos talks about the possibility, as we know, Marinelli reuniting with John. Marinelli was an assistant to the head coach in Tampa. He was the defensive line coach in Tampa. He was a part of that Super Bowl winning defense in Tampa, which is arguably does not belong to John Gruden, and was the product of a lot of things, draft picks, free agencies, and Monty Kiffin as the defensive coordinator at that time. He did a lot of good things for defenses in his time. So, but in that article, he talks about Marinelli possibly being the future defensive coordinator if this thing with Paul Gunther does not work out. And if there was a possibility, if Marinelli moves up, that vacancy opens up again and the possibility of seeing Buckner back, which I don't think so. I think Buckner's going to latch on with the team pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I think somebody's going to scoop him up real quick.
Especially after the turnaround that the defense has been doing from the last year to this year.
I mean, look at the productivity he got out of young guys. Max Crosby, Cleveland Furrow, PJ, Maurice Hurst, all up and down that line. Arden Key, linebacker / pass rusher, injured, so we can't really speak on that. But Buckner got a lot out of his positional players. A guy like Hankins comes in, they plug him right in. He gets re-signed. He earns himself, extended time with the Raiders. So, it's tough to see because you see a lot of productivity out of a lot of youth. And you saw development towards the end of the season. You saw everybody not only play well, but get better as it went on. So Buckner did his damn thing while he was here. Now you got a 70-year-old Rod Marinelli. You have to imagine that when John was sitting at home thinking about, if I ever get a chance to coach again, this is my dream squad. And we know Gunther was on that list. He spoke on it. I think he was probably top of that list. Marinelli had to be on that list as well. And this was probably a move that was going to come, when the opportunity presented itself. Yeah. And now with, Garrett being fired, even though he won't leave the facility.
Actually, he just got hired as OC of the Giants, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's going to
the Giants.
He's going to be standing on the Cowboys sideline. That's the problem.
I know when they play the Cowboys, they're like, Garrett, get your ass over here.
Garrett, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It just old habits. Die hard. So it's just sad to see Buckner go. He really felt like a Raider.
Hell yeah.
Grew up a Raider fan. So, some stuff we were talking about in the first segment.
Yeah. I really always liked seeing the guys who grew up Raider fans sticking with the team like that. That's why I like JDR. Is when he was here as well, and he brought in a lot of guys like that too. But just because you like them doesn't mean I guess they're always the coaching staff's best option. But it's sad.
And speaking of growing up a Raider fan, I'm seeing your number here. You're 619. You're down there in San Diego. Yeah. Are you born and raised in San Diego? And if so, how did you become a Raider fan down there?
Yeah, it's a super weird coincidence how I became a fan. Just kind of growing up, I always was kind of like that guy who wants to be choose something different. Like if everybody's favorite character in the game, I'm going to choose the guy everyone doesn't like. And so, everyone's Chargers fans here. And so I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I got this sweater when I was in second grade. All of a sudden it just appeared because my mom even hates the Raiders too. She's like, why are you a Raiders fan? But this LA Raider sweater just appeared in my clothes. I don't know how. And at first the sweater was way too big for me. It like went way over my arms. But I just kind of latched onto that LA Raiders and just wore it up until I was in 5th grade when it was way too small for me. That was the team I chose. I always just kind of liked the colors, the mindset, and at that time the Chargers weren't that good either. Right. I mean, I really didn't know much about football either. I just kind of watched and didn't even know what the heck was going on, in 2nd grade. But I liked the Raiders.
There you go.
That's what's up.
The shield is magnetic.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Already, my daughter sees that shield, man. She's like, "Go Raiders!" I was like, "Yeah, you got damn right.
Damn right.
You got damn right." Real quick though, so this sweater? Describe the sweater for us, man. Because was it just the logo? Was it just lettering? Was there a player on there?
It was pretty nice, and I've been trying to find, because I know I have some pictures of me in it as a kid, so sometimes I'll kind of go through some of my old pics as a kid, and there's got to be some that my mom's had or something. But no, it had like a nice big shield in the middle. I remember that. It had I'm pretty sure it was like more kind of black on that, and the sleeves were probably either like white or silver. I remember that part. And I specifically remember that it was L.A. Raiders because, by the time I knew what the heck the Raiders were, I'm like, well, they're in Oakland now again. They had already moved back to Oakland by the time I really, was a big fan. And then so I kind of oh, crap, they were in friggin' L.A. for a while,
One more question, man. One more question. And how many Raider home games did you go to at Qualcomm?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta admit, I never went to one over there.
Man.
I never even got a chance to hit any up. I always wanted to, but I never really had the cash to make it happen. I actually barely went to my first and only Raider home game last year. So during the 2018 season when they played the Colts, I was like, you know what? Before they move, I got to just make this happen. Not gonna lie, I used some of my student loan money for grad school to get up there.
Hey,
make it happen.
You gotta make it happen, bro.
Yeah.
By any means.
That's what's up. That's
By
what's
any
up,
means.
man. That's what's up.
Fannie Mae can suck a dick. I'm going to the Raiders.
Fannie Mae, bro. Hey, watch out for those Fannie Mae loans, bro.
Yeah.
They'll get you.
Oh, man.
I know, man. Shoot.
She's
but
an
I was
evil
like, you know
bitch.
what? I don't care, man. I'm going up there. So yeah, I made it up. I actually went and I chose the Colts game actually because one of my good buddies is a Colts fan, and man, we ended up freaking losing. The Raiders did, and this guy on the way out, I had to drag his ass out. I thought he was going to get stabbed because he was talking crap to everybody.
Oh yeah, that's a bad move. That's a bad move.
Bad move.
Surprised we
Rookie
made
mistake.
it out without him getting stabbed.
Colts fan, you just shut the fuck up, California.
I know.
You're in the wrong place.
He's like the only Colts fan I ever met in my life. Like, do these guys exist? I guess so. He does.
Must have been the wrong place. Might have been the right time.
Yeah. Hey, but I heard you. I think it was you, Kenny. Talking about your.
Don't believe
your car,
anything you've heard.
Saying you got
Don't believe anything you've
your
heard about
license
me.
plate on your car.
The license plate on my car?
Didn't you? Who's the one who said you show off your Raider, your Raider stuff on your car? You got maybe the license plate cover or something like that.
No.
Oh no, I got the license plate, the little, the vanity plate with the Raiders on there, and I got the Chucky hanging in the fucking in the mirror.
Yeah.
That
that was you.
Yeah, that Chucky fucking air freshener.
Well, I had mine. Mine got totaled. I got another car because mine got totaled earlier this year. But I drove for a good 9 years. I had a silver and black convertible. It was a Saab. And I threw freaking big-ass Raider decals in the top corners of the windshield. Drove that shit around San Diego for years. People would be sad when they see you. Like, what is wrong with you? That's how I rep.
Hey, no, I repped out there too, man. I was out in San Diego for 3 years too, so I know exactly what that's all about. Yeah. I had that Raiders vanity plate. As a matter of fact, that Raiders vanity plate made it over from my original car, which, much like you, got totaled too. So I had to switch that over to the fucking truck.
I was gonna take mine off too, and I was like, it's kind of old looking now. It's kind of fading away. I think I need to just get myself a new one, and I haven't really got to it yet.
To be honest, I don't fly anything on my car. I keep it real low key. I get pulled over enough as it is.
Yeah.
And,
True facts.
you know, I don't know if I'm just.
For me, it doesn't really matter, man, because I can have nothing on the outside of my car. It's what's inside the car. It's me in the fucking
That's why
black sweater.
See, that's why I have a dare sticker on my car, because you know how I roll, dog.
But I'm still trying to figure out why I get pulled over so much. I really don't know.
Some sunglasses, bro. It's the shape.
It must be.
the
That's what
shape.
it is, man.
Must be.
Suspect.
At 2:00 in the morning.
Bobby Wasabi still got that fucking 5th grade Dare T-shirt, bro.
Hey, I really do, bro. I was the first graduate kid from that, bro, and I was like, this is gonna come in handy in the future, bro. I know about drugs, so leave me alone.
Bobby's got the neighborhood watch sticker on his car. This car protected by neighborhood watch. I donated to the policeman's ball 5 years in a row. Bobby's got the KQED donor sticker on his cover. Flying the tote out the back window.
Oh, man.
Anything that helps. Let's bring this conversation back on track. It's the end of January, Ryan. March is right around the corner. Free agency, we're going to get off to a very hot start this year. Personally, from my opinion, I think this is a weaker free agent class than what we saw last year. But there are some targets out there, and there's guys on this squad that we may hate to see walk. So kind of give us your brief, Ryan Hawk's outlook on the free agency this year. What are some Raider players that you expect to maybe be gone? Who would you like to see re-signed? And is there one or two targets out there you feel like this team has to go out there and grab?
Man, someone that's is kind of intriguing to go out and try to grab if we kind of miss out in you got free agency before the draft. So, but I mean, what I keep coming back to AJ Green. He's really the only
one
receiving option out there.
Yeah.
But my issue is, what's he going to want? Because he hasn't shown he could stay healthy the past few years.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And that's where I get nervous. People talk about, well, Carr just needs more weapons. And that's true. That's true. Regardless of how you feel about Derek Carr, that's true. This team needs wide receivers. But where are they going to come from? Your proven bets, they're not there in free agency. You're going to have to go out and trade for one. Now, our record has not been well trading for wide receivers. Zay Jones came on a trade this year. Who else came on the trade? It was homeboy from the Packers, right?
Yeah.
That fared out fairly well for us.
Well, for a little bit, then he got let go.
Yeah,
right?
and Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant.
Martavis.
So, how much...
Yeah, those Pittsburgh trades never work out for us, huh?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, those don't work out. Maybe the third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Don't fucking trade.
The third time's the charm. And this who I've been thinking. We lost out on our last two. Martavis Bryant, Antonio Brown. We got another superstar out there. Ain't too happy over there in Cleveland. What about OBJ?
I'm cold on
Why
OBJ.
is much of a diva?
I'm cold on OBJ.
cold on him?
Way too much attention already this offseason. We're not making any risky moves like that. The other guy that really wants out of his situation is Stephon Diggs. Whether or not the Vikings are willing to negotiate.
I like Stephon Diggs, man. I would like to see Stephon Diggs.
That's a guy I would like.
If we could fucking get him, if we could maneuver something that way, that's definitely where you should go. You should go that route.
And what are you willing to give up? Because already in this year's draft, we're missing some picks right there in the middle.
Right.
We're missing one from next year's draft. So what are you willing to give up at this point for a wide receiver when you have the possibility to cash in on a draft class that looks fairly loaded at wide receiver this year? So
absolutely.
What I'm thinking is the answer to wide receiver is going to come again from the youth movement. Kane would like to hear me say that. I like to say that, but I don't expect a big flash wide receiver in free agency. AJ Green's the only name up there, and everybody knows that comes with his pension for getting injured, and who knows if that continues to follow him. That's what caused Matthews' stock to go down this year as a safety, and he played very well this year for the Kansas City Chiefs once he finally got settled in this season. So players can turn it around after injury.
He's a lot younger.
He is younger. I don't know how much younger though. Somebody have to look that up. But
the only thing that I would say that would make, AJ Green would have to be like, I don't care, just get me out of here, right? And you would hope that he would force his way out of there. I think he's forcing his way out of there because he didn't come back. A lot of people were talking about him coming back this season and playing eventually. Never did. He sat out the whole season. So I think there's going to be a little bit of push. I think, a
Well, my
lot.
worry is more overpaying for the guy.
Right, no.
Because, I mean, there's going to be teams who might be in on him. And, what are they willing to give up?
Absolutely.
Are we going to have to overpay and for that risk? I don't know.
That's the factor, bro. So who else is in the game? Who else is willing to get him? Who else is willing to send a good amount for him or pay him a good amount? I mean, the Raiders are going to have to weigh that out. Okay, so is there how many players or how many teams are in the game for this guy? If the Patriots are there, the Patriots are probably going to get him, dog. Honestly, if the Patriots have interest in AJ Green, he probably ends up a Patriot.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be more willing to work shit out with a team like that shows a fucking history of winning and consistency. He's going to work something out with him.
Because outside of that, being the number one receiver in this free agent class, it's an automatic bidding war.
Right.
There's a guy that was willing to hold out on his team and has the injury history. And for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah.
This is Shark Tank now.
Yeah.
And the Raiders...
The other option, the other top option is what? Robbie Anderson? He ain't it.
I don't like it.
No, well, most likely he's going to be asking for
I
a
don't
hell
like
of a lot
him
of
at
money,
all.
too.
Way too much.
He's going to be asking for way more than he's actually worth.
Those-
There's a lot of motherfuckers out there.
Someone's going to overpay him.
Yeah, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there in Raiders Twitter. They're like, Robbie Anderson, let's go after this guy, blah, blah. He scores touchdowns. He's got the biggest average per catch or whatever. But the dude he's either he either shows up big or he doesn't show up at all. We've had players like that before. And if this guy's looking for a big paycheck, that's not the guy you want. You want a guy that's going to be a consistent number one, not a guy that can be a number one week and then 2-3 weeks he's not. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have that.
A guy that's been... go ahead.
Yeah, you got Ruggs. I mean, if we're going to go with that, we could probably grab, Ruggs is kind of similar skill set
There
to
you
that
go.
one, probably a higher ceiling in the draft,
It's true.
like Grizz says.
The one guy that's been on the lips of Raider Nation pretty much all season and before the season started was Carl Joseph. He was not extended last offseason. Played very well this season, probably the best year he's had so far as a Raider, but he's a free agent. Ryan, do you see Carl Joseph back in the silver and black next year, or is he playing with another team?
My heart wants him back. I've been kind of a fan of Carl Joseph. Like, I like that draft pick when we took him. Obviously, he hasn't played up to his potential. He's kind of now he's going to be coming back after injury. It's probably in his best interest to just go ahead and re-sign with us, at least on like a 1-year deal. I don't know what other teams are going to pay him. I would like to see him back. A lot of people are kind of mentioning, and I think you guys too in the last episode mentioned the fact that we also have Joyner, and we're going to try to move him back to safety. So it might make it a little bit crowded with 3 guys, but I still like Carl Joseph better than Joyner at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but both of those guys, I think Joyner a little bit more flexible, Carl Joseph a little bit more of a specialist. And I think where we ended this conversation last time is, well, how much do you want to pay a guy that's really good at doing a couple things versus, what are you willing to take for a guy that's willing to do all things pretty good? And you already have a guy in that like Eric Harris as a possible backup to Joyner and Abrams. So the Raiders might be set in terms of their safety personnel, and Carl Joseph might be on the outside looking in, which is going to be hard because I know everybody likes Carl's heart. He plays like a Raider, and he's really endured himself to this fan base. I mean, there's people that are very critical of him as well, and he deserves both. But it's going to be a tough one to see walk, and I think that's probably your biggest surprise. I won't say cut because he's not a cut, but your biggest surprise absence when this team takes the field next year is no Carl Joseph.
Yeah.
And all those jerseys.
I mean, if we put our eggs in the basket on Joyner and Harris, I'd like Joyner. Harris, I just think he's average. If we start him, he had that good game. We had all those interceptions, but other than that, I see him get burned a good amount.
Yeah.
Well, I see Harris getting there late in coverage, and a lot of that is also the corner getting burned early in the route. So I'm not putting that all on Harris. I think Harris does a pretty damn good job. Played a lot of snaps this year, and noticeable improvement on defense when he came in over Curtis Riley. So I think Eric Harris plays fairly well. I don't
Riley
think
was just trash.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Eric Harris is a Pro Bowler or that much above average, but I like the effort at least he gives. and he is accountable. So I like Eric Harris as a Raider. And again, speaking of, who's going to be there as the backup, or do you want Carl Joseph, or do you want a guy that can play in coverage as well? So, and maybe those two guys are a toss-up depending on how you evaluate it. But Carl Joseph, that might be tough. That might be a tough one. He's probably played good enough this year to get paid fairly well by another team. I'm not talking about getting paid, but he's definitely going to get paid.
And probably more than the Raiders are willing to give him. That's the biggest.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
With the Raiders having bigger needs at other positions, that's probably not one that they can afford to sign a luxury like that. So, yeah, that's probably about where that ends. Well, let's move on here. Before you're off the air, Ryan, you heard us announce we're doing this greatest of all time Raider bracket. Coaches, players, anyone that's played for the Raiders at any time during their career, give us a couple submissions for the GOAT bracket.
All right. First, I'm gonna have to go with Marcus Allen. I mean, he was a Raider, and I still imagine what he could have been. Despite having really great freaking stats in the end. I mean, he backed up freaking Bo Jackson and played fullback for a few years. Imagine him as a full-time back. All of those years, what he could have done, and just to kind of take one for the team and play fullback for so long. I love Marcus Allen. He'll probably always be my overall favorite Raider. Actually, have a signed card from him too that one of my old coworkers got. So that's cool.
That's what's up. I like that. I like that.
That's a good entry.
No. Yeah, number 2, Tim Brown, another guy. Raider his whole career. Probably. I don't know. It's arguable. He kind of one of the top wide receivers that homegrown from the Raiders. We got a couple others too, but I like Tim Brown just because I saw him play. Compared to some of the other greats out there, I actually got to see him play, so I like him. And then I might say Snake out there next, man. Just a real quarterback out there, man. You have that Raider mentality.
There you go.
Surprised nobody in here has mentioned Charles Woodson yet, but that goes without saying.
Well, I mean,
it's tough.
Charles Woodson,
he's
of course,
up there.
Though.
He'd be maybe top
He's a
5.
given, though. He's a given. A motherfucker that leaves he and goes to a team where he wins the championship and says, you know what, I'm gonna go right back to where I started. That's a fucking Raider, bro.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson's a Raider.
I like that shit. And he played his whole last season with a damn separated shoulder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Taped up.
Yep.
And not only that too, but I believe also whenever they do the pregame shows and everything, if you ever see everyone's locker, his is always rated out and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Man. So it's awesome seeing that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Now that Charles is a Raider forever, bro. Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, man, thanks for taking the time to call in. You guys can all follow Ryan on Twitter at Ryan World Eater. Is that correct? Ryan World Eater.
Yep.
And you can read all of his articles from his own website, which is
lastwordonsports.life. And Last Word on Sports, I'll be taking kind of a hiatus from writing NFL content probably until the season starts, focus on grad school and stuff. But I'll get the occasional article on lastwordonsports.life. Go find that.
Cool. And, of course, support the RaiderRamble.com. Independent media.
Yeah, Raider Ramble, always support them.
Yeah, definitely, man. Good luck at grad school, Ryan, and we'll check in with you soon.
All right, man. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
Right.
Have a good one, brother.
Peace out, bro.
Yeah, it was a good one. I'll have to have Ryan back on sometime and catch up with him soon.
Hey, I gotta ask him more SD related questions. Man.
Yeah, gonna have those conversations.
I gotta find out what his favorite burrito is, man. Maybe he'll answer that in the chat. Because SD, I moved down to SD, and I got introduced to the Cali burrito, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Cali or Kelly?
Cali.
Oh, okay.
With the French fries.
Oh,
in it?
yeah, with
California
the fries.
with the fries in it.
Yeah.
Right?
that's
My
right.
cousins introduced me to that shit. They're like, you got to get a Cali burrito. I was like, what the fuck is that? They're like, dude, just get a Cali burrito. And I was like, all right. And it's carne asada, French fries, and like pico de gallo, right? It's like real simple. It's not a whole lot to it. I was like, all right. And I ate one, I ate 2, 3. And then I was like, all right, this shit's starting to grow on me. But by far, it's not the best burrito. San Diego people will tell you it's the best burrito. So I just had that question. Like, because for a long time, I was like, fuck Cali burrito. I'm getting this shrimp burrito. Give me this shrimp burrito.
Yeah, and the
That's
shrimp
all
pop.
That's all
shrimp
I fucked
pops when you bite into
with. Oh,
it.
yeah. That's all I fucked with was the shrimp burrito.
You know
But
what?
yeah.
Like, I don't really eat.
I gotta talk some food spots with this dude. See, I want to know if he really knows what's up.
He said the best carnitas were at a place called Snack Shack.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound right to me.
See, you figure since they're
He
so
said
close
no-
to the border, they
he-
would have some sort of carnita style up in
He
there.
did say North Park, and there was a legit taco place. They had carnitas. They had birria, bro. You can go get a bowl of birria. That shit was delicious. It was good, and it was right next to my favorite, probably my number one eat spot in fucking San Diego, which is Etna's
Was
You've talked
Italian
about that.
restaurant.
hey, was
Talked
there
about that before.
was there
Yeah,
ever
bro, I
a,
took my family there this last summer, bro. I was
Oh,
like, we're
shit.
going to Etna's. And I
What-
was super disappointed, dog, because they got rid of the 5 cheese
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
I was disappointed, man. They disappointed the hell out of me. But they still had the calamari Diablo with the fucking jalapenos and cracked red pepper. That's the shit. That calamari, I've never had fucking fried calamari better than that. So if you guys want to make a trip, I'll prove it to you. And then I ordered that lobster ravioli with olive vodka sauce.
Nice.
That's one. So if you guys are in SD, go to Edna's. It's in the hood. You guys are probably gonna be like, "This is sketch."
But that's the tastiest places.
Just park
man.
in front of that bitch. Make sure you can see your car from the window. Okay, and you'll be all right.
Hey, well, you were down there. You said for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Did you find any Raider bars down there?
Raider bar. You know what, man? Honestly, I didn't really look out for Raider bars. I wasn't trying to go and like link up with other Raider fans. I would watch the games at home.
Right.
That was the one thing. You did get a lot of Raider games because of the LA Raider fans, because of down south Raider fans. They wanted to see those games, so you did actually get some games down
That
there.
gives me hope that we'll get some Vegas Raider
Yeah,
games out
man.
here.
So,
We'll
yeah.
see. We'll see. Barry,
Hopefully.
Barry Media always seems to fuck us in the ass.
But yeah, no, I never went out. I guess I was just not. I wasn't looking for it. You know, I'm sure they were there. I've heard Mojo talk about it because Mojo's out there in SD, and he's talking about the places where they get together.
yeah.
And now it makes me feel like, man, now we got to go out there to SD and fucking kick it with Mojo at one of these bars and fucking get down, you know?
Yeah.
Like we do.
For sure. Let's move us on to the next segment, Shay. We're going to probably take a break right here.
All right.
When we come back, it is 9:47 right now in the Crow's Nest. So when we come back on the other side, we're going to get right into Kane's Corner. We have another podcast to do right after this. So we're up against it. We're going to try to wrap this show up, but we do have a lot of show to come. So hang with us after the break. There will be more Raiders talk. My name is Kenny Stapler.
I'm your boy, Che.
I'm Bobby Wasabi.
We out here.
Sound roll 66. Sound roll 66.
All right. That was good. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be out here. We'll be right back. Whoop. Why it does that, I don't know.
Fucking Satan coughing. Where's the stapler dubstep?
Sound roll 66.
He said, I want my robots.
All right, no more of my robot music. That was an old beat anyways.
He said, I want my robots. Good night, David.
Fucking A.
Good night, brother. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to, but I'm gonna get up because I already know this. It's not easy moving around with this fucking knee. So it's like when you're on a road trip and you make a
Oh,
stop.
yeah, you
just
gotta-
gotta go to the bathroom regardless.
Yeah, just to make sure.
You gotta make sure you get that one out, bro. You just gotta, even if you gotta stand at the urinal for a few fucking
Just trying to squeeze something out.
It's like, let me focus real quick. Try to concentrate. Need that fucking rest stop on your way to fucking Vegas. It's like 120 degrees out there by the fucking thermometer. You seen that shit? That Baker thermometer?
Yeah, I heard about that shit.
You haven't seen it in person?
No, I've never been on
Bro, I always fucking see it. Because we drive to Vegas all the time. Some big ass thermometer. And then on the way over there, we stopped in this town. I forget the name of it. But it's a McDonald's. There's a McDonald's. Oh, well, it's like a. It's actually kind of like
Oh, no way. Oh, that even. That's like even worse, man.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was actually looking at you, seeing if you wanted to grab it, but you were focused. You were focused.
All right, give us just a second here. We're about to get right back on. I'll get Kane on the air here while I'm waiting, huh?
Yeah, do that shit.
It's pretty late for him. He may not be up.
All right, he does work early.
Yeah. I haven't seen him on the chat in a few minutes.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Good, you're there.
What's going on?
Not much. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right. Oops. Uh-oh. No
Whatever,
way.
no. Whatever, no. What's there?
Nope.
YouTube, dog.
Huh?
YouTube.
That's right. Just download from there.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. Hold on one second, King.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, wait.
Just get recorded further up.
Nope.
See what the chat's talking about over here while we make these.
And they're already talking about the draft.
Yeah. Grizz says he would automatically take a linebacker. Which linebacker, Grizz? Let us know which linebacker would you take.
Me, third round. Bachia Jr., Michigan State, middle linebacker. You don't need a linebacker in the first round. Raiders don't even pick them in the first round. Last time they did, you saw what happened. So
It's true.
New music.
It's true.
What if, I Isaiah Simmons is there though, man.
Mm-hmm.
Till you pull the trigger with our
Mike
first.
Mayock pulls that trigger. They got a fucking pipeline to Clemson.
Right.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
pulls
Man.
that trigger.
What do you do?
But he better not. He better not turn out like the last McLean.
Right.
The last McLean.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, everyone's scarred from that last fucking linebacker draft pick.
All right, sorry about the delay, guys. I apologize for that. I'm gonna have to do some doctoring after this. We got looks like we got Ryan's recording on YouTube, but it didn't hit the computer, so I will be able to grab that, but the audio release might be a little delayed. I'm gonna have to get that up in the morning.
Some extra edits. It's all good.
I'll
It's all good.
I'll put it up in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to deal
The
with
work
it
Kenny
after.
puts in to make this show go down
That's right,
shows
man.
you right there. It's
Yeah.
not easy, baby. It's not easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me check something really quick, and then we'll get to it.
Okay.
While I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was who was it? Chuck Splatterhead that said it the best, man. I mean, in reality, you spend like a good 3 hours just like editing like 8 minutes sometimes.
Well, Splatterhead for sure.
Well, him for sure, but
they were editing the shit out of their fucking show, bro. Trying to get all the fucking cuss words bleeped
I
out.
can only imagine
Right.
the calls or the shit they say on their show. Oh my god.
dude, especially with Groby there, dude, that fucker's wild, man.
All right. All right, let's go.
Fucking Groby, dog.
Oh, we're back, guys.
Grimy.
We're back. We're having a conversation about producing podcasts. You know what's kind of funny about this show is, there's definitely a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
Including everybody just showing up here. I
Right.
mean, there's a lot that goes into that. But actually, I haven't done really a single edit on this show in probably about at least 6 months.
Yeah,
Round of a fucking applause. Round of
dude.
applause.
And that really comes down to everybody being where they need to be on time and in place, and the show going off without a hitch. So just so you guys know that if you listen to the audio show and you feel like, oh, it's slick, or we're cutting segments or trimming the fat, we're not doing anything. Aside from just lining a couple things up, everything's pretty much done live and on the fly here. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to the live stream, you'll hear a little bit of the background stuff that goes on, but it's very minimal. So compared to like when we first started, Kane and myself, and trying to do it remotely, and me not understanding a lot of that technology yet, and having delays and having to like pretty much edit every response, and we've come a long way, guys. So
Hell yeah.
round of applause to everybody. doing
Hell
a
yeah.
hell of a job over here.
Round of a fucking applause to you, bruh. You figured it out. This shit is dope. We've been in business for 3 years.
That's it.
Round of applause to Kenny.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Because we couldn't do this shit without you, big bruh.
Hey,
You know what I mean? That's
appreciate
real
that.
talk.
Right
Real
back
talk.
at you. Right back at you. As a family we've got here. And of course, the voice you hear on the line is Raider Kane. This is Kane's Corner, brought to you every week by NFLshop.com. Go to PJ4F.com, click on the NFLshop.com banner, buy something, and help us out in the process. We appreciate you, Raider Nation. Kane, welcome to the show. The Raiders season is over, but there's still a lot of football on TV. Let's talk about what we saw this weekend, man.
Man, the Tom Brady. I guess I'm gonna touch on that first. I seeing Tom Brady, Mark Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I guess I can only say this, and I don't really want to say it, but I gotta speak it because it's true. Like father, like son. I mean, this dude is probably the best quarterback in the last 20 years. Won 6 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you entertain the fact that you could have a man on your team?
Yep.
I obviously there's some interest there, So that's really puzzling for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're the fact that you're the good. We are the fact that you are the man, because you wouldn't be the man if it wasn't for the snowball. in my opinion. So, circles. How do they say that? What is circles come around or whatever? What they say? Shit done circle back.
Coming full circle, bro.
Yeah.
Coming full circle.
Shit done came full circle, man. Are we really going after this guy? I mean, he's Bay Area. Went to school in San Mateo. He was a 49er fan. I can't imagine why he would want to be a Raider.
Mm-hmm.
But, the question is out there. So what y'all think, man? I don't know. I mean, if I'm like this, I'm a Raider. I'm a team player.
Yeah.
If we sign this dude, I'll accept it. I'll deal with it. Will I like it? I probably won't.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go out and buy a Brady jersey or anything crazy like that. But let me ask you a question, actually, because we've kind of shared our thoughts on it. I think all of Raider Nation would cringe to see that. But if it makes your team better, at the end of the day, you're going to be happy. But let me ask you a question, right? The name Tom Brady sours a lot of Raider fans. But if Tom Brady gets this team, I'm not going to say Super Bowl because we're not even close to that yet. But if Tom Brady gets this team competitive, if Tom Brady gets this team in the Super Bowl the last 3 years of his career, let's say we go 3 years in a row while Brady's here. Let's just say that. We get into the dance. Does that clear Tom Brady's name in Raider Nation? What do you think, Kane?
No. Jerry Rice's name is not cleared.
That's
by
true.
Raider Nation,
That's
as far
true.
as I'm concerned.
There's a lot of fans that agree with you. There's a lot of
Tom
fans.
Brady be cleared as Raider Nation? Hell no. Unless you win a Super Bowl, nigga. That's it. I mean, but if you get us to the playoffs, I'm looking at you like I look at Jerry Rice. You a Patriot. Jerry Rice, you a Niner running around dancing in the stands today on TV. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit, you not a real Raider, but you was a Raider. So I respect that. But you're not a real Raider, And that's like, okay, so say we sign Tom Brady, right? Give him 2 years here. We transition to the next dude. The Patriots go to the Super Bowl in 2 years. You see Tom Brady dancing around in the motherfucking stands, Patriot jumping. You gonna respect that shit?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm cool. I was never cool with Jerry Rice. Never cool with Randy Moss coming here. Didn't want Warren Sapp. I'm good on the OG vets coming here. I'm cool with that.
How did you feel when they signed Romanowski? Were you cool with that? How did you feel about that?
I was down with that.
Yeah.
That was the one I was down with, and I would have been down with Rodney Harrison. But other than that, yeah, man, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You made your legend somewhere else. Stay where you was at. Do your thing, man. But, like I said, man, if we sign Tom Brady, I'm a Raider. I'll deal with it.
I got a question.
But that's
Go ahead.
I got a question. I mean, you brought up Jerry Rice. If Tom Brady comes to the Raiders, do we see a new hood version of Tom Brady? Is Tom Brady gonna roll out in cornrows?
Oh shit!
I think you're gonna see a
Looking
new
like R.
Raider
Kelly.
version. You're gonna see a new Raider team. You're gonna see a more. You will see a more disciplined. Look, I'm not saying this dude won't make the team better.
Tom Brady's gonna put lines in his eyebrow.
Like him,
Bro.
I just don't like the fact that even the Raiders are entertaining the fact that he could be a Raider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Will he make the team better? Absolutely. I'm sure he will.
Tom Brady's gonna
I
show
don't
up to
have to
Allegiant
like it.
Stadium in a fucking a goddamn fucking El Camino or some fucking rims. It's gonna have rims on it.
Tom Brady pulling up in a 6'4" Impala drop.
Tom Brady
You know
gonna
what
be
I'm
sporting a
saying? With
do-rag there.
13-inch gold Dayton's on it. With
Yeah,
the
the fucking
bows.
goddamn
You know what I'm
diamond in the
saying?
back, man.
The Tom Brady pulling
Goddamn
up
ham
with
sandwich.
hell no.
He gonna roll up with fucking hydros.
Tom Brady walking in on game day with the styrofoam cup.
Tom Brady,
Double cup.
Tom Brady gonna be wearing Cortezes
Picture
there.
this motherfucker holding up the West Side signal with his hands, with a Raider
Man.
Raider gear on. Talking about West Side.
And
He's from the West.
And
know what I'm saying? So he can rap the West, but just picture that shit though. Just picture that shit though.
Hey, does Tom Brady grow a goatee?
I don't know, man.
Does he grow a goatee if he comes to the Raiders?
Looking like Evo goatee.
Looking like Kevin Federline.
Goatee and beard.
Looking like K-Fan on game day. No, we're joking about it, but I
You're
think
going to see all the people all out there looking like Tom Brady and shit. You know how Vegas do it. Vegas do it big. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man. If we bring Tom Brady here, it's going to be for Vegas. It won't be for Raider fans. Definitely not for Raider fans. Any real Raider fan.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you – look, it's just what your opinion is. Do you think this dude is done? Do you think he has a year? And let's look at it on the field. Not even that he was a Patriot or he was anybody else. Let's just look at it as Tom Brady as a quarterback. Is he done? Does he have 2 years? Is he Peyton Manning? Are we the no-fly zone defense? Hell no. So why would we bring this dude here? But like I said,
get another guy with hands that can complement Waller and Renfro because those guys can catch. And Tom Brady's going to do fairly well here. He can't get outside the pocket and move around, which he's never relied on, but he's been able to do awkwardly in his career. He can't do that. He can't do that. But he can throw the ball and he can run an offense.
Imagine Tom Brady running outside.
No.
Are you serious?
I don't think he heard what I said. And you have an offensive line that can protect. So just the fact that he could throw a ball, run an offense, and he will get good protection, I think Tom Brady would have some success with the Raiders. I mean, yeah, he's definitely on the tail end of his career, but the guy can still throw a football. He had a similar problem over there in New England this year that we had. Wide receivers could not get separation in New England this year.
Lack of receiving weapons.
Yeah,
is what he had. Right.
Yeah,
so you gonna bring in Antonio Brown and AJ Green?
You ain't gonna
with Tom Brady.
Nah.
The Antonio Brown ship has sailed, dog. We already know that. Antonio Brown ain't coming back to the NFL, even less the fucking Raiders. Come on now.
You don't even have an agent no more.
I mean, I was being facetious, but I'm just saying, are you gonna bring in 2 Pro Bowl receivers to go with this cat?
You're not. I mean, you're not. You're just not. And I don't think they're going to pay, a fortune to AJ Green or anybody like that in this offseason. It's just not there in free agency. The number one wide receiver on this team is to be drafted, in my opinion. So, you know what? That's the thing. That's probably the one biggest rub to it all is you have, we've argued about it before, so we're not going to argue about it again. But a lot of people would tell you have an able-bodied quarterback in Derek Carr. So it's one involves the decision to move on from him. And the second thing is, Tom Brady, if you were to plug him into this roster as it stood in Week 17, he'd have the similar problems that he had in New England. What does he have over here, though? He's got a better run game, and he's got a much better offensive line than what he had in New England. And they weren't bad. They weren't bad at all. But as far as weapons go, but no defense.
And a better running game, bro.
Yeah, better running game. And the tight
better
ends
weapons
there.
in all 3 facets. Honestly, the receivers that they have over New England are comparable to what we have right now. We have a much.
Philip Dorsett is better than
Better than who?
Philip Dorsett is better than no.
What did he do for them?
That's not true.
What did he do for them?
Sanu is better than anybody on our roster except for Hunter Renfro.
What did Sanu do for them?
I'm talking about Sanu. Look, and I read an article today talking about Tom Brady didn't show up to OTA. He didn't build a rep with his receivers. So that's kind of like on Tom Brady.
Bro, his receivers weren't there when they started the season. Those guys all started to fucking filter in later.
But he didn't build it. See, but those guys are just step-in fill-ins, just kind of like Derek Carr had. But those guys are better, freaking better.
Name the receivers.
Zay Jones.
You're talking about
Keelan Dawes. I mean, come on. And Mohamed Sanu was proven. He played on the NFC Championship Atlanta team. Come on, man.
But he came
keep it real.
But he came to the Patriots and did nothing. He came to the Patriots and did nothing, dog.
But that's on the chemistry.
Right.
That's not on his numbers. That's not on his numbers. His overall numbers.
I'm gonna
Zay Jones compared to Mohamed Sanu.
Who's comparing Zay Jones?
Hold on.
Zay Jones to Mohamed Sanu? I said comparable to what he had. As far as production goes, show me the production. Show me the production that
Hold
those
on,
receivers had without receivers.
guys. Number one, this isn't worth arguing about because both position groups were trash last year.
Right.
I think what Kane's
That's what I'm saying.
is an experience. Yeah, they trump us, but output, it's pretty much a wash. And then the bottom line is it's not worth arguing about. Neither offense had a productive year down the stretch.
Absolutely.
And so it doesn't matter. And what I'm saying is, if you plug Tom Brady in the system over here, you're going to get a similar output than you had in New England. And the two good things he has going for him over here, he's got Renfro and Waller as targets, but he's I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for you. I think that either if he stays in New England, they need to get more weapons. If he comes to Las Vegas, they need to get more weapons.
Absolutely.
So that's a moot point. And I think if you're going to look for any con in this signing, that would be it. Just bringing Tom Brady in, make the Raiders a better team. You can argue it doesn't. You can argue we'd be in the same exact place. It comes down to that wide receiver group.
My point was,
I think we'll be in the same place.
The
But
point.
Go ahead,
The
bro.
point.
Go
The
ahead,
point.
my brother.
The point where I was going wasn't about the receiver crew at all, because what they produced for him wasn't shit. That's the reason why they couldn't get wins late in the season, because his receiving crew did not produce, and our receiving crew didn't produce shit either. I wasn't here to argue who was better or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is we have a running game and we have a tight end, which he did not have in New England.
And New England typically
Sonny
runs.
Michel wasn't shit.
Typically, New England runs the ball well in December and January, and they weren't getting it done this year. And I left them high and dry when it all came down. But let's talk about what we do have in the Super Bowl. So the conspiracy theory did not come true. It's not a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl, but the Chiefs did get in, and it's Patrick Mahomes versus Jimmy Garoppolo. People are billing this as top defensive coordinator versus top offensive coordinator, and so if we're gonna get a juggernaut offense versus a juggernaut defense, and we're gonna see which one comes out on top. As far as the games today, I think it's pretty much cut and dry. Not a whole lot to be argued there. Neither game was a close one. Both were lopsided victories. But Kane, you said last week if it was a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl, you weren't going to watch. And with 3 minutes left to go in the game, you invited me to your Super Bowl watch party. So I'm trying to figure out what you're going to do.
Because you had mentioned last week about doing a podcast somewhere. So I thought, you know what? Why not spoil? Why not be the wedding crashers?
I fuck with that. I can fuck with that.
Crashers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like how do you and I've been really, really thinking hard about this. I really have. And you got these opinions. You got, hey, I live in the Bay Area. I don't want to see these fucking 49er fans celebrate. And then you got the Raider fans, that's still in the Bay Area. They're talking about, look, I don't want to see the Chiefs win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I live in the Bay Area, and I think I could deal better with the 49ers winning the Super Bowl because I lived here when y'all did it already than the Chiefs fans winning the Super Bowl after all these years of not winning one since Super Bowl one. You know what I'm saying? We have lived through many Niners Super Bowls as Raider fans. We've seen this team in the Super Bowl against the Ravens more so last time. So there's an opportunity that they might lose, right? So I know the Chiefs, if the Chiefs win, but damn, I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like fucked up. This shit got me fucked up. I don't even know how to talk about it. Like, I don't even know how to talk about it as a football fan.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. Actually, I'll take that back. I do. One thing I will say, as a football fan, as a person that just likes to watch football, I would love to see, and I'm gritting my teeth when I say this, the Niners defense against the Chiefs offense. You got literally the best defense in the NFL going against the best offense in the NFL. And this is the matchup that you, as a fan, as a football fan, you will want. You will want to see defense against offense. And you want to see the best of it because Jimmy Garoppolo ain't shit. So if the Chiefs can beat the Niners defense, hey, hats off to y'all, man. The Niners defense is fucking treacherous right now. Let's just talk football. But if you see the Niners beat the Chiefs, high-powered offense, then that means that you got to take your hats off to the Niners because they kept up with the. I mean, it's all fucked up.
What it comes down
but
for
as
me
a football
is,
fan, I would love to see the Niners defense fucking stop the Chiefs. I don't like. I hate the Chiefs more than I hate the Niners.
Yeah, as a Raider fan, that rings true for me. But what it comes down for me is, who do I get to see cry in person? And I see more Niner fans on the daily. And they've had enough Super Bowls in the Bay Area. And I've had to put up with enough of their incorrigible nature and their obnoxiousness and their fair weather fandom that I just want to see them get crushed back to earth and go back to another 15 years of darkness while we enter this new era of Raider football and the Chiefs can gnaw on one championship.
You could deal with a Chiefs Super Bowl. You could deal with the Chiefs being...
Kane, I can't deal with any of this shit, man. I can't deal with any of this shit.
Of the AFC West. Like, of the AFC
It's like asking me,
West.
do you want me to cut off your left ball or your right ball? It's like, which one do they... I know, Kane, you're going to keep resetting this thing over and over again in circles. I get what your platform is here. I'm telling you that I can't deal with any of it. And who do I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? I got to deal with Niner fan.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see them lose. The Chiefs have, 0 championships? Let them have one to gnaw on and go back to Andy Reid choking the rest of their playoff career and Patrick Mahomes probably sustaining very light career-ending injury playing a game of chess. Playing a game of chess in the offseason.
I guess we'd have to look at it as the Battle of the Bay, and we just lost. You know what I mean? Because there's no other way I could see a Chief being a Super Bowl fucking winner. Oh, my God. I don't even know what the fuck to say about that.
It just hurts all around, bro.
Whatever.
There's
It's
nothing,
all bullshit.
There's nothing I could say to Niner fan. I could at least tell Chiefs, hey, 100 years in existence and you got one. All right, come back. Come back when you get 2 more. Come back when you get a few more appearances, dog. So I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of this, Kane. I'm like you. It's got me all fucked up. I'm in my emotions. It is what it is. I'm just hoping for a good game. A lot of these Super Bowls are shit shows, so we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I'm just looking forward to the Super Bowl halftime show, dude. I'm not even gonna pay attention to the game. I'm just gonna be watching just Shakira and J-Lo, bro. I know you're gonna be paying attention to that too, Kane.
Hey, man, like I said, y'all need to come through so we could do the Super Bowl crash party, man. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, I don't know what the fuck else to say.
Hit us up on Twitter if you want to hear us live stream over the top of the Super Bowl. All you Raider fans that can't watch this, if you think listening to us while watching your screen will make this more enjoyable for you, hit us up and we will consider live streaming over the top of the Super Bowl with a Raider Kane Super Bowl crash party. Hit us up in the next week. Let us know if that's something you would tune in for. And maybe we'll consider that. That's not a bad idea, Kane. Not a bad idea at all. Kane, man, we are trying to keep this short. We got another podcast to do after this tonight. We did start late. I know it's late for you. Are you working tomorrow, brother, or do you get the day off?
Oh no, I gotta work, man. I'm not. I don't work for the government or the city or the county.
Yeah,
I gotta go to work.
All right, brother. Well, let me let you get your rest, man. It was good coming in. It was a short conversation, but it was a hot, dense conversation.
It was hot. It was hot takes.
It was good.
Hot takes.
Hey, man, it's always good talking to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? One other thing, real quick, before y'all let me go. Y'all had talked about Mike Mayock earlier and his decisions and what he was thinking about doing in the draft, and I had wanted to touch on that just real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if we took a cornerback and a linebacker in this draft in the first round. Everybody's thinking about offense, and there's going to be some people on offense that I think, looking at John Gruden and the offense, he worked with the young receivers this year, and it just didn't work out. For whatever reason, whether they was supposed to be starters or whether they just got threw in or they just didn't learn the offense, quick enough or whatever. John Gruden likes guys that can pick up the offense really quick, that can make adjustments on the fly, that can understand audibles, and so I'm looking at us to take a wide receiver as a free agent and then maybe a wide receiver in the third round, somebody that can come in, because we're not gonna, I just don't see us picking a receiver in the first round. I think we need to go after. I don't think we'll take a linebacker in the first round either, but I do think we'll take a cornerback in the first round. If they need somebody on the other side of Mullen, they'll take a cornerback, and then with the other pick, I think we might trade back so we can get a second round pick. And with that pick, I think then we'll take a linebacker. So that's just my opinion. But I just wanted to say that because I was listening, as I always do. And while I'm listening to y'all, I'm like, I'm giving my opinion and shit. So I know I get my time. So I just wanted to say that, whether everybody agree with me or not, that's what it is. But I think we take defense.
Well, save that conversation, Kane, because
that number 19 pick to get a second round.
Hold
pick.
on,
That's
dude.
Just me.
Pause. Save that conversation because April's a long ways away. We are going to spend a lot of time on the draft as we move forward. So I don't want you to feel like you got to shoehorn all this into this 1 week segment. We're going to be going weekly from here on out. So save the draft conversation. We are going to get to that. And we even have a lot more free agency conversation to have because, as we know, this free agency pool is still not complete yet. You're going to see guys get cut as free agency gets closer, and even after the draft, there's going to be some fallout after that. So we got a lot of time to discuss the draft. I don't want you to cut these thoughts short. I know you have a lot of thoughts and opinions on the draft, so save that conversation. We are going to revisit that. We will have a lot of topics and a lot of discussion around that. So I don't want you to short yourself here. Save those takes, and we're going to get to them as we move forward into the off season. Cool?
For sure.
All right. So hit me up with the details of your Super Bowl party and pillagers. Let us know if that's something you want to hear. Do you want the Pillaging Podcast to pillage the Super Bowl and crash that party, as Kane's saying? I think that's a great idea. Let us know if it's worth tuning in. If it's worth tuning in, then it's worth recording, and we'll be there for you. Kane, man, thanks again for coming on. Get some rest, dog, and hit it hard tomorrow.
I'll let y'all next week.
All right, bro.
Peace.
All right, bro.
Peace.
All right,
Kane.
Peace.
Yeah, a lot of draft topics to get on.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I know, pillagers. I know you like hearing us go down these rabbit holes, and I'm sorry. We're trying to move it as a steady clip today. I'm still staring at a lot of calls over here. So let's get this cracking. Let's get to these callers, man.
Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, Kenny and Che? Hey, this is Omar from the 561, rapper from West Palm Beach.
What up?
And listen, I'm calling because I want to hit on several topics that you guys crushed in your podcast last week. Unfortunately, I'm on the East Coast, so I can't stay up watching the live stream
It's all
the
good.
entire time. So sometimes I can get it in live. Sometimes I have to get it in, on my drive to work. But at the end of the day, it's getting in. It's
Yeah.
like when the wifey's pissed off and, we have an argument or whatever, at the end of the night, I'm still getting in. It's going to get in. So, the podcast gets in, and at the end of the day, it was fire, man. So thank you guys very much.
You're listening to radio station KUNT. It's a little fuzzy, but you can get it in.
Hey, thanks for letting me get in here. A few things I got to hit on that you guys talked about that I thought were spot on. First of all, I don't give a fuck if it's January, February, April, fucking middle of summer. I'm repping my Raider gear everywhere I go. So if you find a Raider fan that's unwilling to rep their fucking Raider gear because it might not match their fucking outfit, or they're afraid that somebody's going to say something because they just lost, I'm telling you, man, that motherfucker, we need to take his Raider card right away. Rep your Raider gear 100% of the way. Don't ever hesitate. And if you do, we got to question you, bro. Second of all, you got
I know between Dan and One Nation Fanwear, Johnny, I'm replete with beautiful Raiders gear. I'm always rocking my Raiders
Hell
gear.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I had a heated debate on that linebacker situation for free
Yeah, we
agents
did.
and stuff. And
Yeah, we
frankly,
did.
it's up in the air what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If I have a choice, I would tie your whitehead. Peace, homie. I would bring back Morrow and Lee as depth. Compton definitely deserves another look. He stepped up. He played well. Not what we're looking for, but certainly gets another look. We got to draft a linebacker. I'm up in the air on Perfect. And then more than anything, I mean, there's that fucking guy, I forget his name, I think it's Schobert from Cleveland, who is potentially going to be available.
Oh, yeah.
That might not be a bad avenue to take. The other piece that you guys talked about that I sided with Shay on, Shay hit on Isaiah Johnson. And I think you guys never mentioned, the kid was on IR to start the season. He was on IR because he broke his fucking face making a sick tackle. So, at the end of the day, the guy deserves a chance. But Worley ain't coming back. I'd rather spend my money on KJ than Worley coming back. That's just, looking at funds and spreading it out. But Isaiah Johnson just
3 minutes,
Fire.
guys. You guys got 3 minutes. It's plenty of time, dog. These are phone calls, not segments. I'm just playing. Omar did call back, and he's on fire. This is a really good call.
Yeah,
so
this is a
let's
great call.
let's hear
It's
this.
a great call.
Yo, this is Omar from the 561 again. Sorry I got cut off, but I'm going to finish this off. I was talking about Isaiah Johnson. He deserves a shot. I think what's going to happen is going to be Mullen, Isaiah Johnson, Keyshawn Nixon actually played well in the slot when your boy fucking Joyner got hurt. So I wouldn't mind seeing him get that shot there, and if we're not bringing KJ back, just move Joyner to safety and give the youngins an opportunity, bro. Fuck it. I wouldn't be surprised if we draft another corner. It might be high, but it might be more middle of the road when we got those 3 picks in the third round. And then I think Carlson's going to come back. He's got to come back. I got to be honest with you. There's nothing out there that's better than him at this point unless we get real fucking lucky.
Yeah.
That shit ain't going to happen.
It's true.
Keep Carlson. Let him fight it out with some other bastard who comes in. Oh, asshole, as Jay likes to call him. Let him fight it out, and we'll go from there.
Thanks.
Lastly, Kenny, we talked about the Woodford. I need you to try something a little different. It's called Eagle Rare. It's another Kentucky bourbon, and it is fire. If you guys need me to be your East Coast beer taster, fucking Woodford and all that other shit, bourbons, fucking scotches, I got you. Peace out, fellas. Have a good week. Oh, last thing. What the fuck? We fired the defensive line coach, Brentson Buckner? That was fucking crazy. Unexpected. That was bullshit to give the job to a 70-year-old. What the fuck? I don't like that move. Peace.
Yeah.
Way to end that call,
Yeah,
man.
that's strong. That was strong all the way through.
Fuck yeah.
Lots of good points. Great energy, Omar. Great call. Way to kick us off right there. And hey, man, is there a bourbon you want me to try? Send it.
Right?
Send it. I don't spend money on alcohol. I'm sorry. I just don't. It's like it's a rule I have. But if you send it, I will drink it. My rule is I only get to buy alcohol when I go out.
That's fair.
I don't stock it at the house.
Hey,
That's a good rule.
No, bro. I mean, that's a good way to keep some money in your pocket.
Oh, it's a good way for me not turning into a raging asshole.
And then, it's a good way of extending your lifespan, bro.
I'm a happy drunk unless I've been drinking for 3 days straight or more. And then it gets really dark.
He's just a really bad drunk. Hey, I also like how Omar was talking about how you always got to have the attire properly set and good to go. I've always, it's funny because with this whole Vegas move and all this crap, I've had a lot of people walk up to me and try to be smart and, talk shit to me, this and that, like, oh, well, now that they're leaving and blah, 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 this and that. And I'll give them the same answer every time is that in this life, what they call a washing machine, my colors never run, and they never will. So
we got that fucking wool light.
He's either George Bush.
We got that wool light, dog. Okay, we put that wool light on our shit.
I got that fabuloso, bro.
Fabuloso.
The wool light's to fucking keep the color. The fucking fabuloso's the. Oh, that fabuloso is to wash it, right?
Hey, fabuloso.
Suavitel is to make it nice and soft.
Fabuloso fixes everything, bro.
Suavitel smells good.
That's right. Yo, you got a flu? Fabuloso, bro. Fabuloso and Vaporu, bro.
The Vaporu. Hell yeah.
Let's go to 303 right
That
here.
Vaporu always comes up, dog.
The weatherman.
Kenny Che. It's your boy 303.
What's the weather?
Calling from cold Nashville, Tennessee. Yes.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee this week. A bunch of fucking Chiefs fans. Had to leave the fucking football party because I couldn't take it anymore, and I got to watch the Niners win. Jesus. Disaster for Raider fans. Niners, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, Niners are the only team that can beat Kansas City because they have a way more diverse running game in their front four, just fucking the best in the NFL. So, what a shit show. We're getting kicked in the balls every single fucking day. I'll tell you what, man. This Patrick Mahomes guy, he is fucking really good. And it sucks he's in our division. And John Gruden and Mike Mayock have some fucking big decisions to make.
Yep.
Do they try to fucking build up the defense and try to stop this fucking guy, which is really hard? Or do we go all in offense? I mean, this conservative Gruden, is it Carr, is it Gruden, who's conservative? I don't fucking know, man. But, I mean, to beat Kansas City, we got to fucking outscore them and try to stop them. Man, what a fucking Gruden. I don't know, man. He's got a fucking hard job. Hopefully him and Mayock are up to the task because we are so far away from competing with them. It's fucking ridiculous. So today was just another kick in the balls for Raider fans. But, you know, when you're a Raiders fan, you always think you have hope, right? That's what Raider fans do. But I'm telling you, man, we are far from competing with these motherfuckers. So Mayock and Gruden better get the fucking work. Anyways, man, you guys, hopefully you're enjoying your Sunday. Raider Nation forever. And this is your boy 303, and I'm out.
Yeah, great little call there, 303.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Good
To the
call.
point. He
just-
gets there, he gets his points made,
Yeah.
and then he says, "Peace out, yo."
He's clear. 303 Raider just makes me smile. His phone calls are cool. He's got a good personality.
He's always got good energy, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Even when he's down, he sounds optimistic.
Right. He's like, God damn it, I just got kicked in the balls. But hey, Raider Nation.
Yeah. I love that. Fun guy to hang out with too. He's just a good guy. He's always got a beer in his hand. He's always got a smile on his face. He's hella cool. He's a good dad.
Hey,
too.
but that's what having a good life will do for you.
They have a good life
You
out
know?
there. They got a nice
Yeah.
house, beautiful wife, beautiful family. 303, doing it well, man.
There you go, man.
Enjoy Nashville. I've always wanted to go to Nashville. That seems like a cool city. As a music fan, I need to get out there. I'd love to see a game out there in Nashville. And I don't mind watching Titans games. They're a fun team to watch. I've always liked watching Titans games. I had a lot of, growing up, I watched the Oilers games all the time. They were fun to watch. So I don't know, maybe something there. Some kind of weird affinity for the Titans. You could be a Raiders fan and enjoy just watching football. And there's some of the games I enjoy. We've already talked about my love for watching AFC North games. Those are just good football games.
Oh, you got that?
Yes, I got that, man.
You got that easy.
I think it's time for a whiskey.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crow's nest is coming up soon.
Damn, dude,
That's
a
right.
lot of talking. That's a lot of talking. Chay's done a lot of heavy lifting tonight, and for that, I thank him quite a bit. Quite a bit. And let's not act like that's a rare thing. Chay's always putting in work on the Pillaging Podcast.
Hey,
That's why you guys tune in, God damn it. It's your Uncle Chay. Let's move on here.
Listen here, you cocksuckers.
Let's move on here to the 816. This looks like it could be a two-parter as well.
What's cracking, Pillages? This is
Oh.
your boy Gent.
Yeah.
This I now wish it was a four-parter.
There you go.
That's
there you
what,
go.
That's
there you
what
go.
I'm talking about.
Man, I got to see here and watch the Chiefs and the 49ers play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible. Man, that's terrible. I don't have anybody to root for. So
Nope.
I guess may the fucking best dickhead win, bro. Fuck it. Gotta watch the Niners and the Chiefs play in the fucking Super Bowl. Oh, well. But anyway, the real reason why I called is not only do we got to watch that fuckboy game, the fucking Hall of Fame committee bitch-ass motherfuckers. Hey, bro, I want to sock every one of them motherfuckers in their eye. So bad. How the hell can you not put my boy Flores or Branch in, bro? And both at the same time, denied, bro. And then the busters that you put in front of them. I mean, come on, man. Bro, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I like Cower. You know what I mean? I like him as a fiery personality. But did I ever consider him to be a Hall of Famer? Maybe because it's the Hall of Fame. You know, you really can't tell the story of the NFL if you without bringing up Cower. But you really can't tell the story of the NFL without bringing up Flores.
Yep. You can't. First.
I mean, come
first.
on, man.
You're talking about Flores first.
Minority to coach in the Super Bowl, much less win 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, come on, man. Y'all bullshitting. Put my boy in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Oh, part 2. You know he's not done.
Oh, this your boy Gent. I had to call back on a more serious note. Man, my heart is broken to find out my boy Buckner is not coaching the defensive line no more, man. What more? I mean, how much more could we take, bro? How much more can we take? We got to watch the fucking 49ers and the Chiefs. We got to watch a red Super Bowl. Fucking, they denied Cliff Branch. Also sent Tom Flores through the stages of denial. And then you gonna fire Buckner? Man, that's some fucked up shit.
No way. Is Cliff Branch out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's out.
They announced all that.
Yeah.
I missed him. Totally missed that.
Yeah, no.
I thought that came out right before the Super Bowl.
No, it came out already.
It's a wrap, though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because even the family was like, "This is BS, man."
It's completely missed that this week. I was completely unplugged.
Yeah.
Work had me slammed.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to catch up on that with the next show because I didn't mean to gloss that over. I apologize.
I know the old dude, your homie, and I ain't even saying that, you know, he don't have a good resume. But nah, that's fucked up, Gruden. Yeah, bruh. You should have just went ahead and made dude the defensive coordinator is what you should have did. Kept Buckner right where he was at. Because he was having them youngsters going dumb. And now they got to try to relate to this old ass dude.
That's
I hope
facts,
the shit work.
That's
I won't
facts.
say shit if the shit work. I'll shut the fuck up. But as for now, man, that's fucked up, bro. Because Buckner, he was a Raider, bro, a Raider fan, growing up a Raider fan, and then could you imagine any one of y'all out here listening right now? Growing up, how you grew up being a Raider fan, and then you actually get to become a Raider, bro? After you played in the league and everything else, you get to coach for your team? Oh, I know he was hurt, bro, because I'm hurt for him. And I know them youngsters is hurt. I know they is. But, and one monkey don't start no show. We don't see what's cracking. Go Raiders.
Yeah, great calls, Gent. Both things very well put. I think you handled the Buckner thing better than we did. I think just in 2.5 minutes, you said everything that needed to be said. So great call. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Sucks big fat bowl of dicks. All right. Here's our last caller, the 360.
Kenny J. Kane, brother Wasabi. What's up, baby? This is Pete.
What up?
I've
Caller of the year.
I'm gonna start off my call by saying that I've had a few And been in the group chat tonight. Yo, shouts out Shorty, shouts out Vinny, shouts out Sean, shouts out Juice. All around. Just love. Little homies hug, coffee chugged, and do that. And what I say is this. After watching the national championship game for college football, I called in last week. And what I was banging the motherfucking drum, saying like, you know, we gotta like I would be willing to trade up for the Isaiah Simmons cat if we can't get Chase Young or Joe Burrow because you know I'm disgruntled with my fucking not my but our quarterback situation. And I'll say this: there's gonna be 2 or 3 quarterbacks taken, and the next one after Chase Young will be defensive player as of Isaiah Simmons. So from here on out, we must operate under the circumstance that we're probably going to pick a 12. We're probably going to pick a 19. After Mike Mayock stuck up for Derek Carr, I mean, shit. I don't know what's going on. I have no excuses for the motherfucker. I am a Derek Carr apologist, but man, I have nothing for you anymore. That's about it. But what I'm trying to say is this. I need 2, not 1, but 2. We're not going to get a premium linebacker. We're going to get that in free agency, but I want 2 wide receivers. You know what? We got $70 million in cap space, which I would love to have for my own fucking business, but got $70 million cap space. Let's go pay some corners. Let's draft 2 young wide receivers. Let them get schooled. You know what I mean? Let them get schooled by 2 veteran corners that we paid for and upgrade this offense. And I'm not looking into it this year, but next year when we want to draft a quarterback, be it Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, I actually like the Fields kid better. What I'm saying is this. Let's school up some wide receivers. Let's pay some cornerbacks. Let's school up some wide receivers. And just make it this, that, and the other thing. Like, I promise you, I'm going to do a live call-in for draft, do a live call-in for whatever, or free agency. What I'm saying is this, our draft should have a legit agenda, and our free agency should have a legit agenda. And what I mean by that is, like, if we're going to draft offense, let's draft offense. We got 2 first-round picks. We got 2 third-round picks. We have $70 million in cash space. Go ahead and spend it on defense. Or, hey, Google it. I'll take you on a real nice date sometime. But I need you to quit cutting me off.
3 minutes. You have 3 minutes.
King, Che, Kane, Brother Wasabi. What's up, Pillagers? This is Pete. But this is what I was saying about my last call. Is this. Free agency should have a theme. Draft should have a theme. What I mean by this is I am all for, like, no more Reggie McKenzie project picks, splitting it up and shit like that. Like, oh, we're going to pick 1, you know, guaranteed pick on the first round, and in the next pick we're going to do this or blah, blah, blah. I'm saying this. Got 2 first-round picks, got 3 third-round picks, and what I would love to see is us spend money in free agency on defense, and let's upgrade this fucking offense. Give me 2 wide receivers in the first round. Give me 3 project players, like, give me freaking crackets, like, bro, like, let's, if Jalen Hurts is still there, let's do it. Know what I mean? Just saying. But either way, like, I'm just saying, like, we need a theme going this way or that way. I don't want any more 1 offense, 1 defense pick type shit. Let's go with a theme. Either way, so to formally accept my award of the Caller of the Year in the Pillaging Podcast, when I was trying to catch up on my podcast listening, I would like to thank God. I'd like to thank my mother. I would like to thank Che. And I'd like to thank, you know, Wapo for inspiring me 24/7. Like to come in with good calls and shit like that. I would like to thank Vinny, Shorty, Johnny, Rich, and Doc in the chat.
Nice.
Love y'all. Be good. You know, thanks for having me on. We'll talk to you next week. And but what I'm saying is, like the theme I call, let's fit one way. If we're going to draft defense, draft defense. If we're going to draft offense, draft offense. And then let the other reflect in free agency. All right, y'all. Take it easy. This is Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Smart call. Very gracious award acceptance there. You had the Call of the Year award winner, followed by the Caller of the Year award winner, back to back.
Yeah.
This is the Pillaging Podcast, folks.
That's right.
Bringing you champions.
Nesties. Nesty award winners.
Nesty time.
A couple nesty pillagers right there. Nesty pillagers. Guys, it's getting late. It's about 10:51 here in the Crow's Nest. We still got a whole other show to do after this. It's time for more coffee, round 2.
Yeah.
Maybe some whiskey.
For real. Coffee for sure. Dog.
Coffee, whiskey?
Carnitas too, man. I'm about to get these goddamn carnitas.
Let's do some shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
We'll do some shout-outs this week and apologize in advance if we missed anybody. There's a lot of people out there. But just some shout-outs to some folks on Twitter and in the chat that we interact with on a weekly basis that it's time to reset these shout-outs. Normally we shout out all of our new followers. Let's shout out some of our more dedicated followers.
Hell yeah.
And if we missed you, it's not because we don't love you. Just remind us, like Peter Paisano did this week, and that's why he's first on the list. Petey Paisano, shout out to you, dog, for holding us down all the time on Twitter, always plugging the show. That's what's up. This Pillaging street team out here. Hey, we're not on social media a whole lot, so if you want to help us out with that word of mouth, we appreciate it. And Petey, we see you doing big work. Also, you, Tony Young. Shout out to Shorty, who's like, we've met once for like 15 minutes, and I feel like he's a brother in this family.
Hell yeah, dude. Cool cat.
Hell yeah. Silky Slim, shout out to you, dog. Always on that beer tip with that fiery, hazy resolutions today. I saw you posted that. That looked good. Shout out to Gabby, man. So Petty Crocker, Commando Apple. I don't know if she changes her name every 10 seconds. You know who she is. The Afro will now live on in infamy.
Yeah.
You can get that. You can get that Gabby T-shirt from DC4L Custom Tees. Actually,
that Lucille.
That's right. Fire. Yeah. Shout out to Evil Joker. I has Copper. Of course, my man Padilla, D-Man. Shout out to you, Raider Nug, Vincent Lobstain. Always in the chat. Always on Twitter. Always entertaining. Stony. Shout out to Grizz. Check out the big brains on Grizz. Shout out to Good Doc, Holistic Pickle, who we haven't talked to in a while. He might be locked up. I don't know. Shout out to Berserko, who recently joined us and already fitting right in very nicely. Also a good follow on Twitter. Shout out to Bionic Raider for holding me down on these draft scouts. A lot of my insider draft knowledge comes from the direct messages I get from Bionic Raider. I appreciate
mine too.
those.
Mine too.
You get that too, huh?
I get those messages too, man.
And he's got good taste in music too. So shout out to Raider Roo. You already know. Also a brother. Big Harry out there in the UK. Damage Incorporated from Scotland, holding us down real solid. Van City Raider. Irish Raider, Top Wop Raider, Omar Medina, Watch the Hook 23, also known as Pistol on Twitter. Thanks for checking out the music, dog, when nobody else would. We appreciate you.
That's what's up.
You got a great Twitter account. Carlos Audio 2 Raider. He's a big supporter, and we love you, dog. Uncle Mike, it's great to meet you in person. You're exactly the person I thought you would be, and that's a real motherfucker. That's the OG right there, Uncle Mike.
Yeah,
straight out.
Central Valley Raider, Brandon Bessie. Hey, you don't talk a whole lot, but I see the likes, dog. I see the support. I see you interacting. We appreciate you. Shout out to our brother Juice, man.
Yeah, shout out Juice. We miss you, dog.
He's always in the chat too, man.
You need to come up to the Crow's Nest one of these days, dog. We miss you.
Yeah, we do. Shout out to Raider Beans, Mike Gorelli, formerly of PFF Raiders. Shout out to our very own Kevlar Prom Dress.
That's right.
Shout out to Oahu Raider.
That's right.
He's a Twitter champion, dog. Shout out to Pepe, king of controversy. Shout out to Angria Trask. Big Angria Trask out there. She's a giant in this podcasting world, in this Raider media world. She's my sister from another mister. We love you, Angria. Shout out to Jenny. We missed the Ladies of Darkness, man.
Yeah.
Dwayne Douglas, Lured Raider, riding over there for the Raider Ramble, always with the spicy takes on Twitter. Ray Aspuria, who's actually written his very last article for the Raider Ramble.
Yeah, I saw that.
Moving on to the Snake Pit. Congratulations, dog. I've officially read your last article. because I don't pay for pay sites, unfortunately. So maybe if you can give me some copy and paste love, I would love that. Ray, I love reading your articles. We got to get you on the show more before you get behind that paywall. I don't know how much you're going to cost per minute. So let's make that happen. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mario Tovar, the godfather of the Raider Ramble. Him and Carlos Sanchez doing great work over there. Chris Simmons, Ryan Hawks, who we had in today. Shout out to the People's Mexican. Shout out to Nez and Ant from the No Ledge podcast. The folks want you back. They need you back. The world needs that podcast more than anything. Shout out to our man Kenneth over there on East Coast Nation. Shout out to Groby and Splatterhead holding it down on the Fan Club Blitz, now a part of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network.
Yeah.
And just shout out to everybody that's in the chat every week. Pete, Irish Raider. I don't know, man. It goes on and on and on. And on and on.
Lots of people, man.
The family is getting bigger and bigger, man.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Speaking of, we got some new follows on YouTube. We got followed by Glocks Are Us.
Glocks Are Us.
I don't know if that makes me feel safer or in danger.
Oh, man.
It makes me feel prepared, at least.
Shout out to you, right? Very prepared. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Raider War Report, Money649, and Mike McInerney. Or McInerney, I think is the name.
Okay.
McInerney, yeah, it's a tricky name. I like it though. It's fun to say.
Yeah, hey man, good stuff, yo.
A big shout out to John Day, Mark Soto, and Mr. Richard Lacassi for all your donations this week, and everybody that donated in the chat. I can't remember all of them. I can only remember a few of them, so I'll say none of them. Man. I will just say thank you very much. We appreciate that.
And also,
and we acknowledge them as they donated too. So shout out to all y'all, man. Thank you. We appreciate the love, man.
And also want to give a big shout out to all the Raider family across the pond over there in Ireland, Scotland, and England as well, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we get some of those folks that actually stay up late night listening, and the whole time differential is pretty crazy, man. So
yeah, it's true.
Irish Raiders up in the chat right now, and he's talking about is this being recorded late night? Because it's 6:30 in the morning over here.
Good morning. Good morning. Imagine waking up to these voices at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fuck. They'll be like, yeah, man, these guys are shot out of a cannon.
It's like you had a long night, dog.
No, man. It's 11 p.m. and Polly's about to roll up in here. So with that, I will say that's it for this week's show. Make sure you tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Excuse me. Download the official Pillaging app available for iOS and Android. Of course, you can call in at any time, 408-909-PJFF. Make sure you support DC4L CustomTees.com and OneNationFanwear.com for all your fan gear. Please donate to the show. You can do so by joining the live chat and donating that way, or go to paypal.me/PJ4F and be sure to listen to all of our network partners. Until then, keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug and pillage on, Raider Nation. This has been a production of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined by
your boy Chip
and Bobby Wasabi.
Peace.
Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town. Like a diesel motor, you never shut down. With your pistons pumping, you're mowing them down. It's a sight to see, they all lay their money down. When you're gone, mama, hell, you ain't acting right. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone, gone. When the sky is gray and the night sets in, it's your cue to do it all again. Until the next time I hear your name, or right beside you, now my thoughts to remain. When you're gone, mama, I'll be missing you. When you're gone, mama, I can still